Deep beneath the sands of time, there are secrets hidden from the eyes of modern civilization, ancient truths lost to history, waiting to be uncovered. Forgotten civilizations once thrived on this earth, their knowledge, power, and wisdom now buried, scattered across distant lands. Yet, as we uncover their remnants, questions continue to surface, questions that defy explanation. What vanished from the world before recorded history? What hidden forces shaped the ancient world in ways we are only beginning to understand? Picture vast stone structures that have stood for millennia, their purpose shrouded in mystery. Impossibly precise engineering, far ahead of their time. Who built them, and why? From the towering monuments of the past to the cryptic symbols carved into forgotten walls, these are more than relics. They are messages from a time before our own. So, what if the answers to humanity's deepest mysteries lie not in the future but in the distant past? Sit back, relax, and join us as we venture into the unsolved prehistoric secrets that still haunt our understanding of history. In a quiet, unassuming corner of Germany, a discovery made in 1995 reshaped our understanding of early human history. The Schöningen Spears, 7 ancient wooden weapons, were unearthed near the small town of Schöningen in the Lower Saxony region. These remarkably well-preserved spears, dating back more than 300,000 years, are an extraordinary testament to human ingenuity and survival from a time long forgotten. The spears were found in a lignite mine, within a site rich in prehistoric artifacts. Upon their discovery, the significance was immediately apparent. These spears, crafted from spruce wood and measuring up to 2.5 meters in length, date back to the lower Paleolithic period. This was a time when the world was vastly different, untamed, dangerous, and perilous. Early humans lived in environments that required resourcefulness and the ability to adapt using rudimentary tools. What sets these spears apart is not just their age or the remarkable preservation of their structure. It's what they represent. Evidence that early humans were capable of achievements once thought to be beyond their reach. The craftsmanship of the spears is particularly remarkable. The sharpened points, shaped and refined with remarkable precision, suggest an intentionality and skill far beyond what was previously believed possible for early humans. At the time these spears were crafted, humans had not yet fully evolved. Yet the Schöningen Spears provide a glimpse into a highly developed understanding of their environment. These weapons were not just crude tools of survival. They were carefully crafted instruments designed for hunting large game, formidable animals that posed significant challenges. The spears reflect a culture of cooperation, foresight, and strategy, as well as a keen understanding of the delicate art of crafting tools that could mean the difference between life and death. The spears were most likely used for hunting, an explanation supported by what we know of early human societies. The fact that they were designed for large animals, such as horses and bison, indicates that early humans in this region may have been among the first to practice coordinated hunting tactics. This raises fascinating questions. Were these humans more sophisticated hunters than we imagined? Could they have employed strategies, or even developed rudimentary social structures to aid them in overcoming their prey? The mystery surrounding the Schöningen Spears grows deeper when we consider their age. These tools predate the emergence of Homo sapiens by more than 100,000 years, stretching back to around 300,000 BC. This challenges traditional narratives of human evolution. Were these spears crafted by Homo erectus, or perhaps another early human species? Could this discovery suggest that tool-making, often associated with Homo sapiens, was practiced by older hominids? If so, it implies that advanced tools and human intelligence evolved in more complex ways than previously believed. The spear's discovery in Schöningen raises further questions about how these ancient people understood their natural world. How did they pass this knowledge down through generations? What role did these tools play in their daily lives? And what does this reveal about their survival strategies and their place in the prehistoric landscape? The fact that these spears were so well designed points to a level of planning and foresight that suggests a far deeper understanding of their environment than we might have anticipated. Some theories even suggest that these spears may have had ritualistic significance, perhaps used in ceremonies or as symbols of power. This possibility hints at a more symbolic use of the spears, perhaps crafted by groups of humans who had begun to develop the earliest forms of symbolic thought. The size and sophistication of the spears point to a level of social cooperation and cognitive ability that seems advanced for its time. However, mainstream scholars generally agree that these spears were intended for hunting, and the evidence certainly supports this interpretation. Still, the question remains, could there be more to the story? Could these spears represent something greater, perhaps an early form of technology, warfare, or social structure? The discovery of the Schöningen Spears extends beyond just their material composition or their historical significance. It raises profound questions about the development of human culture and technology. What other lost secrets of humanity's earliest days might be buried beneath the earth, waiting to challenge our understanding of the past? These spears may have given us a glimpse into an ancient world, but their full significance is still unknown. The Schöningen Spears remind us that history, like the earth, is layered. Some layers are visible, some hidden beneath the surface, and others are waiting to be discovered. These spears offer us an insight into the distant past, but the true meaning of their existence is still a mystery. What forgotten truths about early humans remain locked away beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge? Only time and further exploration can answer these questions. As we move forward in our exploration of the lost secrets of the prehistoric world, we find ourselves entering the shadows of Teyjat Cave, a site that remains one of the most enigmatic to this day. Tucked away in a remote corner of Palestine, this cave, its walls etched with symbols and images, has become a focal point for those searching for the roots of human expression. Its intricate carvings, discovered over a century ago, offer more than just a glimpse into the past. They present a puzzle that even the most advanced minds have yet to fully decode. The Teyjat cave engravings are unlike anything found elsewhere from the same era. Hidden deep within the cave's cavernous interior, these markings seem to come from another world altogether. The shapes, some geometric, others vaguely animal-like, appear carefully inscribed with tools, yet their meaning remains elusive. Some of these designs, thought to be created around 20,000 BC, represent a kind of art that was both functional and symbolic, if not spiritual. To this day, it is not entirely clear whether these were simply decorative or held deeper, ritualistic meanings. What is most striking about the Teyjat engravings is their sheer complexity. Unlike other cave art from this period, which often depicts animals or hunting scenes, the engravings in Teyjat take on a more abstract and cryptic form. There are spirals, intersecting lines, and mysterious symbols that don't seem to correlate with any known form of prehistoric communication. The precision and intentionality behind these markings suggest that they were not made casually or hastily, but with purpose and careful planning. Some archaeologists believe these engravings were early forms of writing, an attempt at recorded language long before the development of structured alphabets or written texts. The possibility that this cave could contain an early form of communication, that these abstract symbols might be a precursor to more complex systems of writing, is an idea that is both exciting and unsettling. Were the people who created these symbols trying to tell a story, convey a message, or record important events? Or were they perhaps tapping into something deeper, something beyond the practical concerns of daily life? Other theories suggest that the engravings could have served a spiritual or ritualistic purpose. Given the mysterious nature of the cave and its isolated location, it is easy to imagine it as a place where early humans might have gathered for ceremonies, seeking connection with the forces of nature or the divine. Some have speculated that the designs on the cave walls could represent early attempts at mapping the stars or the movements of celestial bodies, perhaps pointing to an ancient understanding of astronomy. Could these carvings have been part of a ritualistic system aimed at marking time, seasons, or cycles of life? As we continue to examine the Teyjat cave engravings, one must also consider the possibility that these symbols represent something far more personal, something unique to the individuals who created them. Perhaps these markings were a form of personal expression or storytelling, a way of marking milestones or significant events in the lives of the people who lived there. Could these ancient engravings be the equivalent of modern-day graffiti? Messages left behind by individuals who wanted to communicate, to share a part of themselves with the world? Or were they part of something much more grand, an early attempt at creating a shared cultural identity? And then, there is the question of how these people had the knowledge and skill to create such sophisticated designs. What tools did they use? How did they learn to carve with such precision on hard, rocky surfaces? What resources were available to them, and how did they acquire the expertise needed to produce such artwork? While the practical elements of creating these engravings may seem straightforward, simple tools, perhaps stones or bones, there is something haunting in the way the designs suggest a deeper understanding of the world around them, one that we are only beginning to comprehend. The mystery surrounding the Teyjat cave engravings continues to grow with each new theory. Could these markings be more than just an early form of communication? Were they the key to understanding an ancient belief system, a connection to the spiritual world that we no longer have access to? Or are they simply the product of an early human need to create, to mark their existence on the world? The Teyjat cave has become more than just an archaeological site. It is a symbol of our constant search for meaning in the past. As we stand before these mysterious carvings, it is impossible not to wonder, what else remains hidden in the caves, buried beneath the surface of time? What other forgotten messages from the past are waiting to be uncovered to shift our understanding of who we were and who we are? In the silence of the cave, the question remains, who were the people who left these marks, and what were they trying to say? Perhaps the answers are buried deeper than the walls they left behind, waiting for someone, someday, to finally hear their voices. In the dense, mist-covered hills of West Java, Indonesia, lies one of the most enigmatic and controversial archaeological sites in the world, the Pyramid of Gunung Padang. Situated on the slopes of a volcanic mountain, this ancient structure rises like a forgotten sentinel, its terraces cutting through the landscape in ways that defy conventional understanding. The pyramid's existence challenges our assumptions about early human civilization, as it presents a complex puzzle for archaeologists and geologists alike. At first glance, Gunung Padang may appear to be a natural formation, its stone terraces resembling the terraced hillsides found in ancient agricultural communities. But as experts have investigated further, it has become clear that this site is far more than it seems. Spanning an area of approximately 3 hectares, it is composed of layered stones, some of which date back more than 20,000 years, an astonishing age that contradicts what we know about early human history. Gunung Padang is not a single monolithic pyramid, but a complex of terraces and megalithic walls, constructed from large, precisely cut stones. These stones are unlike those found in the surrounding natural environment, suggesting that the builders possessed advanced quarrying techniques. The precision with which these stones were shaped and arranged hints at a deep understanding of engineering, knowledge that, according to traditional historical timelines, should not have been available at such an early stage of human development. Mainstream archaeologists have long struggled to place Gunung Padang within the accepted timeline of human civilization. Most traditional theories suggest that human civilization only began to flourish around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, with the rise of advanced societies in the Near East and North Africa. However, the pyramid at Gunung Padang, with its unexpected age, challenges this narrative. If the site indeed dates back as far as some researchers suggest, it could indicate the existence of a highly advanced civilization thousands of years before the ancient Egyptians, Mesopotamians, or Indus Valley people, pushing back the origins of human technological prowess. Some researchers believe that the pyramid is not merely an ancient ruin, but a remnant of a long-lost civilization, one possibly more advanced than any we have previously imagined. Could this structure be evidence of a forgotten culture that thrived long before the dawn of recorded history? And if so, why is there no record of it in the archaeological or historical record? What could have happened to this civilization, and why did it leave behind such an enigmatic structure, seemingly designed for future generations to discover? Others have proposed that the pyramid may have been built as a ceremonial or religious site, possibly used for astronomical observations or ritual worship. The alignment of the terraces with the rising and setting of the sun, as well as other celestial bodies, has led some scholars to suggest that Gunung Padang was not simply a tomb or temple, but a sophisticated observatory, an ancient cosmic calendar that tracked the cycles of the heavens. Could this structure have been a tool for its builders to connect with the stars, map the heavens, or track the passage of time in ways we can only begin to comprehend? Despite these intriguing theories, many questions remain about the pyramid of Gunung Padang. How could such a massive and intricate structure have been built with the limited tools available at the time? What technology did the builders possess, and how did they manage to transport and arrange the enormous stones that form the pyramid's terraces? Was this pyramid the work of one culture, or was it constructed over time by successive generations, each adding their own layers and modifications? Some fringe theories even suggest that Gunung Padang might be the remains of an older structure, possibly from a pre-Ice Age civilization that predates the known human timeline by tens of thousands of years. There are claims that beneath the pyramid lies a hidden chamber or tunnel system, potentially containing further evidence of a highly advanced and long-forgotten culture. However, despite extensive research, no conclusive evidence has been found to support these claims. The mystery surrounding Gunung Padang continues to deepen as new discoveries are made, but definitive answers remain elusive. As we continue to explore Gunung Padang, it becomes evident how little we truly know about the prehistoric past. Could this pyramid be the remnant of a civilization that predates all others, a culture whose story was lost to time? Or is it simply another example of human ingenuity, a testament to early societies striving to leave their mark on the world? What is certain is that Gunung Padang remains a captivating and mysterious sight, inviting us to question what we know about our distant ancestors and their capabilities. The mystery of Gunung Padang compels us to ask, what other secrets about our ancient past remain buried beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered? As research continues and new insights emerge, it is clear that this remarkable site will continue to challenge our understanding of history and human civilization for years to come. In 2008, a remarkable discovery was made in the Siberian cave of Denisova, an artifact that would challenge our understanding of early human culture. Among the remains of an ancient hominin species, a small but intricately crafted piece of jewelry was found, an unexpected piece of evidence that would reveal not only the ingenuity of ancient humans but also the complexity of their social lives. This discovery, a delicate finger ring made of stone with finely carved patterns, would later be identified as the work of the Denisovans, a mysterious group of early humans that lived tens of thousands of years ago. The ring, found alongside bone fragments attributed to the Denisovans, was the first definitive piece of personal adornment linked to this enigmatic species, offering a rare glimpse into a world that had long remained a mystery. The Denisovans, a sister species to both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, were shrouded in mystery for years. Genetic evidence suggests they inhabited parts of Eurasia, from the Siberian wilderness to the Tibetan plateau, yet their physical traces were scarce. Their story, as pieced together through DNA, paints a picture of a people who thrived in harsh environments, yet despite these genetic insights, their material culture has remained elusive until the discovery of their jewelry. What makes this piece of jewelry so fascinating is not just its craftsmanship, but its implications. Jewelry, in any culture, has always been more than a mere ornament. It can serve as a symbol of status, identity, and ritual, ways for individuals to express something about themselves or their group. So why would the Denisovans, who lived in such harsh conditions, dedicate time and skill to crafting such an object? Was this ring merely decorative, or did it hold deeper, more personal significance? The ring itself is a simple, small object, yet its presence suggests a sophistication that challenges the conventional view of Denisovan culture. Mainstream archaeology has long assumed that early humans, particularly those living in isolated, inhospitable regions, had little interest in symbolic behavior or artistry. Yet this ring, with its deliberate design and craftsmanship, hints at a much more complex social world than previously imagined. Could it have been a symbol of personal achievement, a token of love, or perhaps a mark of status within Denisovan society? While theories abound, answers remain frustratingly out of reach. Even more intriguing is the possibility that the Denisovans were not as isolated from other human groups as previously believed. The jewelry found alongside Neanderthal and Homo sapiens remains in other parts of Eurasia could represent a shared cultural practice, a cross-species exchange of ideas or symbolic behaviors. If these ancient humans were indeed interacting, trading, or influencing each other on a cultural level, it would add a layer of complexity to our understanding of early human history. Were the Denisovans merely isolated, or were they part of a larger, interconnected world of early humans? Some researchers have suggested that the jewelry may not have been purely decorative. The designs on the ring, although simple, may have had symbolic meanings that remain elusive. Perhaps it was not just a way to express personal identity, but also a form of ritual, a piece of sacred ornamentation worn during important ceremonies or rites. This raises the possibility that the Denisovans, like other ancient peoples, had a rich spiritual life filled with belief systems and cultural practices that we have yet to fully understand. Further discoveries in the same Siberian cave have shed light on the broader cultural practices of the Denisovans. Tools and bone fragments found alongside the jewelry suggest that the Denisovans were not just survivors, but active participants in the cultural fabric of their time. What other secrets might be hidden within these caves? Could we one day uncover a larger collection of Denisovan artifacts, perhaps more jewelry, art, or even remnants of a written language, that could reveal even more about their lives and their interactions with other human species? However, the true purpose and meaning of the Denisovan jewelry remain a mystery. Its discovery is a small piece of a much larger puzzle, one that challenges our assumptions about early human history. Was it merely a piece of ornamental art, or did it have a deeper significance? The ring, like many other artifacts, leaves us with more questions than answers. What were the Denisovans trying to communicate with their artistry? What does this jewelry reveal about their place in the broader story of human evolution? The mystery of Denisovan jewelry encourages us to reflect on the complexity of the world they inhabited, a world still hidden beneath layers of time. What other secrets lie buried, waiting to be uncovered? How much more do we have yet to learn about these ancient peoples, whose stories are so elusive, yet so profoundly connected to our own? As we continue to explore the lost fragments of human history, the question remains, what else might we discover, waiting to redefine everything we thought we knew about the past? In the Scottish countryside, tucked away in the village of West Dunbartonshire, lies one of the most enigmatic monuments of prehistoric Europe, the Cochno Stone. Measuring nearly 12 feet in diameter, this massive stone is covered in intricate carvings that have baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Hidden beneath the modern landscape, the stone's existence remained largely unknown until the early 20th century, when it was uncovered during excavation work. Despite being studied extensively, the Cochno Stone's full significance remains a mystery, captivating scholars and enthusiasts alike. The Cochno Stone is often described as a form of rock art, but its markings go far beyond simple decoration. The carvings, a combination of spirals, cups, and geometric shapes, form an intricate design that has yet to be fully understood. Some researchers believe the carvings were made by Neolithic people around 5,000 years ago, during a time when early human societies were beginning to form the foundations of civilization. However, even with over a century of study, no consensus has been reached regarding the true purpose of the stone. What makes the Cochno Stone particularly intriguing is not only its age, but also its scale and location. Lying flat against the earth, almost as though it was intended to be rediscovered by future generations, the stone raises questions about its creator's intentions. Why would such a large stone be carved with such an elaborate design, and why was it buried for so long? After being exposed and studied, the stone was reburied in the 1960s to protect it from the elements, further deepening the mystery of its purpose. The carvings themselves are striking, displaying a sophisticated understanding of geometry and symbolism. The design features intricate spirals and concentric circles, along with hundreds of cup marks, small circular depressions that suggest both precision and intentionality. The careful arrangement of these symbols gives the impression of a visual language, but no one has been able to decipher it with certainty. Were these markings simply artistic, or did they serve a functional or spiritual purpose? Some believe they could represent early writing, a record of celestial movements, or even religious beliefs. One popular theory suggests that the Cochno Stone was a site for ritualistic or ceremonial purposes. The spirals and concentric circles may symbolize the cycles of the moon or the sun, marking the passage of time or seasonal changes. In this context, the stone could have functioned as a kind of sacred calendar, used by early humans to track the natural world around them. Others speculate that the design could symbolize fertility, as spirals and circular motifs are commonly associated with growth, life, and renewal in ancient cultures. However, these explanations do not fully resolve the mystery of the Cochno Stone. Why would such a large stone, covered in such elaborate markings, be buried again after its discovery? Was the stone meant to remain a secret, its meaning understood only by a select few? Or could it have been intentionally preserved for future generations, waiting to be uncovered at a later time? Some alternative theories suggest that the stone may represent hidden knowledge or advanced technology. The complexity of the carvings and their alignment with natural forces imply that the people who created them may have had a deeper understanding of geometry, astronomy, and physics than we typically associate with Neolithic societies. Could the Cochno Stone be a relic of an ancient civilization with lost technologies, a society that understood the natural world in ways we are only beginning to comprehend? Another theory proposes that the stone could have served as a memory or history marker, perhaps recording the lineage of a particular tribe or the events of a significant figure. The carvings may represent a form of collective memory, preserved in stone for future generations to remember. This interpretation raises the possibility that the Cochno Stone was not merely a religious or ritualistic object, but a record of cultural or familial history. Despite all the theories, the true purpose of the Cochno Stone remains elusive. While its design and carvings offer a fascinating window into the past, they also provoke more questions than answers. Was the stone merely an object of art and devotion, or did it hold a much deeper significance? Could it have been a marker of knowledge, lost to time but waiting to be rediscovered? As we stand before the massive weathered stone, it is impossible not to wonder what other secrets lie hidden beneath the surface of history. What else might be buried, waiting for the right moment to be uncovered? The Cochno Stone may only be the beginning of a much larger story, one that continues to elude us. It stands as a reminder that the past is not always as simple as it seems, and that many of the most important chapters of human history may still be waiting to be revealed. As we continue to peel back the layers of time, one site stands as a haunting testament to the early human desire to communicate, express, and preserve. The Bhimbetka Petroglyphs, carved deep into the rocky surfaces of central India, remain a mysterious and compelling chapter in the story of prehistoric human culture. Located in the Bhimbetka Rock Shelters, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Madhya Pradesh, these ancient carvings have sparked curiosity for decades, offering us a glimpse into a world that predates written history by millennia. The petroglyphs are scattered across the walls of natural rock shelters, with some carvings dating back as far as 30,000 years, making them one of the oldest known examples of rock art in the world. The imagery etched into the stone is as varied as it is cryptic, depicting a range of symbols, geometric patterns, and animal figures. Among the most striking are the images of wild animals, bison, elephants, and tigers, depicted in motion, almost frozen in time. These figures suggest a deep connection to the world around the people who created them, revealing how closely their lives were linked to the animals they hunted and lived alongside. At first glance, the petroglyphs seem to be simple depictions of life, much like cave paintings found elsewhere in the world. Yet, there is something more elusive about the Bhimbetka carvings. Unlike the more straightforward representations of animals or human figures, some of the symbols on the petroglyphs are abstract, geometric shapes and spirals that defy immediate interpretation. These markings don't easily fit into conventional understandings of early human art, sparking questions. What were the creators trying to convey with these mysterious symbols? Was this art merely decorative, or did it serve a deeper, more complex purpose? The mainstream view suggests that the Bhimbetka petroglyphs were created by the early ancestors of modern humans, possibly Homo sapiens, or even earlier hominin species like Homo erectus. These images may have served as a form of communication, perhaps to tell stories, mark territories, or record important events. This theory aligns with other prehistoric rock art, where images of animals, humans, and tools often reflect daily realities and beliefs. However, the more enigmatic markings, particularly the geometric shapes and spirals, lead some researchers to speculate that the petroglyphs had symbolic or spiritual significance. Could these symbols have been part of an early form of religious or ceremonial practice, representing the forces of nature, or perhaps even used to track the movements of celestial bodies? The spirals and circular motifs, in particular, resemble later depictions of cosmic cycles, suggesting a possible attempt to map the heavens. Some scholars propose that the carvings could reflect early shamanistic practices. The idea is that the petroglyphs were created by shamans or spiritual leaders, using the rock faces as canvases to communicate with the spiritual realm. The abstract symbols might represent sacred knowledge or power, an attempt to capture the essence of life, death, and the universe in stone. Could these markings have been part of rituals that sought to connect the human world with the divine? Or perhaps they were tools for meditation or spiritual reflection, designed to help people understand their place in the cosmos. Moving beyond conventional theories, some fringe theorists suggest that the petroglyphs could represent an early form of writing, an attempt to record thoughts and ideas in a way that might have eventually evolved into written language. Could these petroglyphs be a precursor to a lost form of communication, a forgotten script that was never fully understood or developed? If so, how did it disappear? and why did it leave behind such a fragmented record? The location of the petroglyphs adds another layer of mystery. The Bhimbetka rock shelters are situated in a remote and rugged region, yet they seem to have been carefully chosen. Why this specific location? Was it a place of cultural or spiritual significance, selected not only for its protection from the elements, but because it was considered sacred? Some believe that the positioning of the petroglyphs was intentional, aligning them with certain natural features of the landscape, such as the sun's path or the contours of the land. Could these markings have been a way to honor the land itself, as a form of early environmental awareness or reverence for the natural world? Despite over a century of study, the true meaning of the Bhimbetka petroglyphs remains elusive. What were the ancient people who carved these symbols trying to express? Were they preserving knowledge, conveying spiritual beliefs, or marking the cycles of nature? As with many ancient mysteries, the answers may never fully materialize, but the questions they raise continue to resonate across time. The Bhimbetka petroglyphs invite us to reflect on the vast ocean of human history that lies beneath our feet. Stories, knowledge, and wisdom locked in the symbols and designs of ancient peoples. What else might we uncover as we continue searching for the hidden meanings in these carvings? What other ancient cultures may have left behind traces of their existence, waiting to be rediscovered and understood in ways we can only begin to imagine? As we journey deeper into the heart of South America, we stand in the stark, high-altitude plains of Sajama National Park in Bolivia, home to one of the most intriguing and enigmatic archaeological sites, the Sajama Lines. These long, perfectly straight lines etched into the earth stretch across the barren desert landscape, forming a vast network of shapes and patterns that appear like the remnants of an ancient map. From above, the lines seem to disappear into the horizon, their purpose unclear, adding to the mystery of their origins. The Sajama Lines, also known as the Sajama Geoglyphs, are believed to have been created by ancient Andean cultures as far back as 2,000 years ago. Situated across the Altiplano, a high-altitude plateau at the base of Sajama Mountain, the lines are a remarkable feat of prehistoric engineering. Some lines are perfectly straight, while others twist and curve, creating a labyrinthine pattern across the arid landscape. Despite their striking appearance, their function remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. Mainstream archaeologists suggest that the Sajama Lines were likely created by the Aymara people, one of the indigenous groups of the Andes. They may have been used for agricultural, ceremonial, or social purposes, or perhaps as markers for routes or sacred spaces. Some even propose that the lines could have formed part of an ancient network of paths connecting different communities. However, the lack of solid evidence supporting any of these theories leaves room for more speculative ideas. One widely discussed theory is that the Sajama Lines served astronomical purposes. Some researchers believe the lines were intentionally aligned with celestial events, such as solstices or star movements, and might have acted as early astronomical observatories. This theory is supported by the precision with which the lines are arranged, seemingly designed to track celestial bodies across the sky. Could the Sajama Lines have been used to mark important celestial events or guide agricultural practices and spiritual rituals? Yet, the alignment with celestial bodies does not provide a definitive answer. While some point to the sun's movements, others suggest the lines were not astronomical tools, but symbols of social or religious significance. Some argue the lines could have represented an early form of map-making or demarcated sacred spaces, symbolizing the relationship between the earth and the divine. If this were the case, what was the deeper meaning behind these markings, and how were they understood by the people who created them? A particularly mysterious aspect of the Sajama Lines is their sheer size and scale. They are so vast that they can only truly be appreciated from the air, raising questions about how they were constructed with such precision across such a wide expanse. What tools or techniques did the ancient builders use to create these perfectly straight paths and geometric patterns? And why, if the lines held such significance, were they created in such a remote and difficult-to-reach location? As we delve deeper into the mystery, we encounter more speculative theories. Some suggest that the lines could be remnants of a lost civilization, perhaps a society far more advanced than previously thought. These lines, they argue, may represent the remains of a complex civilization that understood the Earth and cosmos in ways we are only beginning to grasp. Were they a record of ancient knowledge, passed down through generations, now lost to time? Or were they markers for an unknown ritual or belief system? Theories also connect the Sajama Lines to other geoglyphs and lines found throughout the Andes and beyond, such as the famous Nazca Lines in Peru. Could the Sajama Lines be part of a vast, interconnected system of markers across the Andean region, forming a prehistoric map or pathway for ancient peoples? This interconnected network raises fascinating questions about how early societies communicated, navigated, and understood their world. Despite the many theories, the true purpose of the Sajama Lines remains elusive. The lack of written records or direct evidence leaves us with only speculation and interpretation. Were the lines a form of art, an astronomical tool, or a map to an unknown world? And perhaps most intriguingly, why did these ancient people leave such an elaborate, enduring mark on the land? As we stand before these vast ancient lines stretching across the barren landscape of the Altiplano, we are reminded that the past is still a vast, unexplored frontier. The Sajama Lines, like many other prehistoric mysteries, challenge our understanding of early human civilization. They compel us to ask, what other secrets lie hidden beneath the Earth's surface, waiting to be uncovered? What lost knowledge might we one day discover, revealing new insights into the ancient peoples who shaped the world long before recorded history? As we journey deeper into the world of prehistoric art, we now turn our attention to one of the most awe-inspiring and mysterious sites in Paleolithic archaeology, the Lascaux cave in southwestern France. Known for its breathtaking collection of cave paintings, Lascaux has long symbolized humanity's earliest attempts to record and express the world around them. But hidden within the cave, in a secluded area called the Hidden Shaft, is a scene that has left researchers captivated and confounded for decades. The Hidden Shaft scene is located in a narrow passage, more difficult to access than the famous Hall of Bulls or Great Hall. Painted on a vertical wall, it offers a striking departure from the more familiar depictions of animals and human figures. Instead of the usual bison or horses, this scene portrays a figure, seemingly human, falling into a deep shaft, surrounded by enigmatic symbols. At first glance, the image appears to be a chaotic representation of a ritualistic or shamanistic event, a symbolic or transformative journey. The central figure is distorted and abstract, its body elongated and twisted as if caught in free fall. Surrounding the figure are symbols suggesting motion, descent, and perhaps spiritual or psychological transformation. Some researchers have speculated that the figure is not falling, but rather ascending or transitioning into a different state of being, hinting at a deeper spiritual meaning. This depiction raises questions. Was this scene a shamanic vision, a trance experience, or a form of spiritual initiation? Could it represent a transformation where the human soul or spirit descends into darkness, only to emerge renewed? Mainstream interpretations suggest the Hidden Shaft scene represents a ritualistic or shamanistic practice, possibly connected to death and rebirth. In many indigenous cultures, a journey to the underworld or a realm beyond death is a common motif, often accompanied by symbols of descent and ascent. The falling figure might symbolize the soul's descent into the afterlife, a theme echoed in later mythologies and spiritual practices. Could this scene capture the shaman's voyage to the spirit world, where life, death, reality, and the supernatural were fluid and interchangeable? Others argue that the scene might be an abstract representation of a hunt, with the falling figure symbolizing the dangers and challenges of the hunt. The shaft could represent the unknown perils faced by the hunter, while the surrounding symbols might capture the intensity of the experience. This theory suggests an early form of storytelling, where the artist conveys the fear, excitement, and uncertainty that accompanied life in the prehistoric world. As we explore beyond mainstream explanations, we encounter more speculative ideas. Some researchers argue that the hidden shaft scene could depict an early shamanistic or psychedelic vision, possibly induced by hallucinogenic plants or rituals. The figure's distorted form and the abstract symbols suggest a transcendent experience, one not bound by the physical world. Could the scene represent an altered state of consciousness, a journey into the psyche where the ordinary rules of reality no longer apply? Another theory suggests the hidden shaft scene is cosmological in nature. The descent into the shaft could symbolize a journey into the earth itself, an allegorical representation of the passage of time or the cycles of nature. The surrounding symbols, with their emphasis on motion and transition, might reflect the ever-changing forces of life, death, creation, and destruction that governed the ancient world. Despite numerous theories, the hidden shaft scene remains one of the most enigmatic images in prehistoric art. Its meaning is elusive and its purpose unclear. What was the artist trying to convey with this scene? Was it a spiritual journey, a hunt, or something else entirely? The fact that this image was painted in such a secluded, hard-to-reach part of the cave suggests it held great significance for its creator, perhaps a secret, hidden knowledge reserved for a select few. As we stand before this mysterious scene, we wonder, what other secrets lie buried within the depths of Lascaux? What hidden messages await discovery? The hidden shaft scene, like many prehistoric works of art, invites us to look beyond the surface and into the depths of human experience. What else might be hidden in the caves of our ancestors, waiting to be rediscovered? And what does this mysterious image reveal about the minds of those who lived so long ago, minds that sought to capture, in images and symbols, the very essence of life, death, and transformation? As we move deeper into the frozen landscape of Siberia, we encounter one of the most mysterious discoveries in prehistoric art, the Malta figurines. Discovered in the 1920s near Lake Baikal, these small, intricately crafted figurines have captivated archaeologists and anthropologists alike. Carved from mammoth ivory and bone, the Malta figurines stand as some of the most enigmatic relics from the Upper Paleolithic period, offering a glimpse into the lives of the people who lived in this harsh environment nearly 24,000 years ago. The figurines are small, ranging from a few centimeters to about a foot tall, featuring intricate carvings that depict human-like figures. Some of the figurines are female, with exaggerated features such as large breasts and wide hips, suggesting they may have had symbolic or fertility-related significance. Others are less anthropomorphic, with abstract designs or animal-like characteristics. What is striking about these figurines is not just their craftsmanship, but the mystery they pose. Who were the people who created these works of art, and what were they trying to convey? The mainstream explanation for the Malta figurines is that they were crafted by the Malta Buric culture, a group of Upper Paleolithic hunter-gatherers in Siberia during the last ice age. Archaeologists believe these figurines were used in rituals or as totems, possibly related to fertility, magic, or religion. The emphasis on female forms is often interpreted as a symbol of fertility, which was crucial in a time when survival depended on the availability of resources and reproduction. Could these figurines have been used to ensure good harvests or successful hunts? Or were they an early form of spiritual expression, intended to connect the living with the forces of nature? Yet, as we delve further into the mystery of the Malta figurines, we encounter more intriguing theories. Some researchers suggest the figurines had a more personal significance. Could they represent ancestral figures or personal deities? One theory posits that these figurines could represent actual people, not merely symbolic fertility figures, but depictions of individuals, possibly from an elite class or specific family lineages. Were they intended for ancestral worship, to remember or honor the dead? Even more intriguing is the possibility that the figurines were part of a broader cultural and spiritual framework. Some researchers propose that the Malta-Bure culture was not isolated, but part of a larger, interconnected society with far-reaching trade networks and spiritual beliefs. Could this culture have shared artistic and religious traditions with distant communities? The similarities between the Malta figurines and other prehistoric artworks in Europe and Central Asia suggest cultural exchanges. Could there have been a broader, sophisticated network of ideas and beliefs connecting these ancient groups? The craftsmanship of the Malta figurines also raises questions about the technical knowledge of their creators. Carved from mammoth ivory, a material both valuable and difficult to work with, the figurines show remarkable skill. How did these prehistoric people acquire such expertise in working with ivory? What tools did they use to create such fine details? Some researchers speculate that the creators had access to specialized tools or techniques that have been lost to time. Could this indicate the Malta-Bure culture was not as primitive as once thought, possessing knowledge and craftsmanship superior to other groups? Another mystery lies in the geographic location of the figurines. Siberia, with its frigid terrain, seems an unlikely place for such intricate artworks to originate. How did the Malta-Bure people, living in the heart of an ice age, surrounded by harsh landscapes, develop such refined artistic traditions? Were they truly isolated, or was there a broader cultural exchange happening across Eurasia? Could these figurines represent an early form of cross-cultural communication, a testament to long-distance trade or migration routes that existed earlier than we realize? As we look at the figurines, their haunting, silent gaze seems to beckon us, urging us to unlock their secrets. What was their true purpose? Were they ritualistic artifacts, personal totems, or representations of something far more complex? The more we learn about the Malta figurines, the more questions we uncover. Were they symbolic representations of a belief system, or was there something more hidden beneath their delicate surfaces? Perhaps the greatest mystery lies not in the figurines themselves, but in the people who created them. What can these ivory figures tell us about the minds of those who lived so long ago? Did the Malta-Bure people possess a worldview more sophisticated and interconnected than we have imagined? Or are we simply looking at a reflection of a time when art, belief, and survival were inseparable? As we contemplate these questions, we are reminded that the Malta figurines, like many other ancient artifacts, remain silent witnesses to a world that has long since passed. What other secrets might they hold? Secrets still waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look beyond the surface. The Malta figurines continue to challenge our understanding of prehistoric life, leaving us with more questions than answers, and inviting us to explore the mysteries of the distant past. As we venture deeper into the heart of South America, we arrive at one of the most captivating and enigmatic archaeological sites in the world, the Megalith of Samaipata, nestled high in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia. This ancient site, shrouded in mystery and surrounded by lush forests, stands as a silent witness to a long-lost civilization, whose purpose and achievements remain largely unknown. The site itself is breathtaking, an enormous carved stone platform that spans over 2,000 square meters, rising from the earth like a monument to an unknown power. Its massive stone slabs, worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain, suggest it once served a purpose far beyond a simple ceremonial site. At the heart of Samaipata lies its most remarkable feature, the enormous rock outcrop known as El Fuerte. Carved into its surface are a series of mysterious motifs, geometric patterns, symbols, and shallow depressions suggesting intentional design. The most prominent feature is a large rectangular platform with intricately carved steps that lead to a central depression. Some scholars suggest this platform was used for religious or ritualistic purposes, perhaps as an altar or ceremonial space. Yet the precise function of the site remains elusive. Was Samaipata a place of worship, a center of astronomical observation, or perhaps a political or social hub? The origins of the Samaipata megalith are just as mysterious. While the site is often associated with the pre-Inca civilizations, such as the Tiwanaku or the Incas, the precise culture responsible for its creation remains unknown. Radiocarbon dating places the site's use as far back as 200 BC, suggesting it was already in use well before the rise of the Inca Empire. The scale and complexity of the site imply that it was created by a people who possessed advanced engineering and architectural knowledge. But who were these people, and why carve such a massive structure into the rock? Mainstream interpretations suggest that Samaipata was likely a ceremonial site used for religious or cultural rites. The surrounding carvings, including animal shapes and geometric patterns, could symbolize power, fertility, or the connection between humans and nature. Some researchers speculate that the site may have served as an astronomical observatory, allowing ancient peoples to track celestial events, much like the Nazca Lines in Peru. Could Samaipata have been key to tracking solstices, equinoxes, or lunar cycles? Its platform and carvings suggest this possibility, though no definitive evidence has emerged to confirm this theory. Beyond conventional interpretations, a deeper layer of mystery emerges. Some propose that Samaipata served a more profound purpose, perhaps acting as a spiritual or cosmic center. The central depression in the platform could symbolize a gateway between the physical and spiritual realms. Could the site have been used for rituals that facilitated communication with the gods or ancestors? The shape and alignment of the carvings may hint at a deeper, more esoteric understanding of the universe, a belief system aiming to tap into the fundamental forces of existence. Adding to the intrigue, Samaipata may have been a place of cross-cultural exchange. Situated at the crossroads of several ancient trade routes, the region likely saw the convergence of various cultures, including highland and lowland peoples. The diversity of carvings suggests that Samaipata may have been a gathering place where different groups came together, sharing knowledge, stories, and rituals. Was Samaipata a focal point for cultural exchange? Or was it a place of power where one civilization sought dominance over another? What were the political dynamics of those who built it, and how did these dynamics influence the creation of such an awe-inspiring monument? Fringe theories propose that Samaipata might represent an ancient civilization with knowledge far ahead of its time. Could it have been a center of advanced knowledge, where ancient peoples had access to lost technologies or philosophies? Some even suggest the site could have been built using advanced, unknown tools, allowing for the precise carving of stone. While speculative, these theories reflect the enduring mystery surrounding Samaipata and its creators. Standing before the megaliths of Samaipata, we wonder, what other secrets lie hidden beneath the surface? With its ancient carvings and massive platform, the site still holds many secrets, waiting to be uncovered or fully understood. Its enigmatic nature only adds to its allure, drawing us to question its true purpose. Was Samaipata a place of spiritual significance, a hub for ancient knowledge, or something else entirely? And what other secrets might lie hidden in the remote reaches of the Andes, waiting for us to discover? The mysteries of Samaipata, like many ancient sites, remain unsolved. They remind us that much about our distant past remains beyond our understanding. As we reflect on the past, the megalith of Samaipata challenges us to continue seeking answers, to explore what lies hidden, and to appreciate the complex, interconnected history of ancient civilizations. As we venture into the depths of prehistoric art and culture, we encounter an object both simple and profound, the Paleolithic bone flutes. Carved from the bones of birds, mammoths, and other animals, these ancient instruments offer a direct connection to the lives of our distant ancestors, revealing not only their craftsmanship, but also their ability to create and appreciate music long before written history. Found across Europe, Asia, and parts of the Americas, these bone flutes have intrigued researchers, raising questions about the role of music in prehistoric societies. The most famous of these bone flutes was discovered in 2008 in the caves of Hohle Fels in Germany, a site rich with Upper Paleolithic treasures. The flute, made from a vulture's femur, is estimated to be around 40,000 years old. Despite its simplicity, it is a stunning creation, with precisely drilled holes that allow it to produce various musical notes. When held in the hand, the flute evokes an ancient sense of artistry, suggesting that its creators had a sophisticated understanding of acoustics and musical scales, far beyond what we might expect from people living during the Ice Age. The discovery of these bone flutes has reshaped our understanding of prehistoric cultures. Music, it seems, was not a luxury of later civilizations, but an integral part of life thousands of years ago. The craftsmanship of the flutes suggests that sound and music held significance in the lives of the people who created them. But what exactly was music's role in Paleolithic societies? Was it for entertainment, or did it serve a deeper, more spiritual purpose? Mainstream interpretations suggest that the bone flutes were used in rituals or ceremonies. In many ancient cultures, music has been linked to the spiritual world, used to invoke gods or spirits, mark time, or accompany healing practices. Could these flutes have been part of shamanistic rituals, helping early humans communicate with the unseen world? The precision with which the flutes were crafted suggests they were more than just novelties. They likely had profound spiritual significance, helping their creators connect to something greater. Some researchers also suggest that the bone flutes were used in social gatherings or rites of passage, such as initiations or celebrations. The discovery of multiple flutes at various Paleolithic sites raises the question of whether these instruments were part of communal activities, fostering social bonding. Could music have been a means to bring people together, forge connections within groups, or unite different tribes? It's also possible that these flutes were part of hunting rituals, believed to help attract or communicate with animals. In this case, the flute would have functioned as a tool for success, both physically and spiritually. As we delve deeper into the mystery of these instruments, more speculative theories emerge. Some fringe theorists suggest that the bone flutes may have been used to convey a form of early communication, possibly a precursor to language. Music, as we know today, can express emotions, tell stories, and convey abstract ideas. Could Paleolithic people have used sound to communicate in ways we cannot fully comprehend? If these bone flutes could produce melodies or harmonies, might they have been part of a complex communication system, extending beyond words and gestures? Another theory proposes that the flutes represent a lost form of musical knowledge, a universal musical language once known to early humans but forgotten over time. In this view, the bone flutes are part of a broader prehistoric musical tradition, passed down through generations. Could there have been a shared musical culture across distant regions? What lost knowledge might be embedded in these sounds, knowledge that shaped early human societies in ways we have yet to fully understand? The mystery deepens when we consider the role music may have played in the evolution of Paleolithic humans. Recent studies suggest that music has been essential in human development, playing a role not only in social bonding, but also in emotional and cognitive growth. Could the creation and use of music have been a key factor in the cognitive leap that allowed humans to develop language, culture, and complex social structures? The bone flutes may represent a critical moment in human history when music began to shape the course of human evolution. Looking at these ancient flutes, we are reminded that the history of human culture is full of mysteries still waiting to be unraveled. The bone flutes, delicate and haunting, carry the echoes of an ancient world, but their true purpose and significance remain shrouded in uncertainty. Were they ceremonial tools, instruments for communication, or something far more complex? What knowledge did they embody, and what role did music play in the lives of their creators? As we continue to search for answers, the mystery of the bone flutes persists, inviting us to wonder what other secrets the past may hold, waiting for us to uncover and understand. In the vast, sweeping plains of Mongolia, where the sky stretches endlessly and the wind whispers ancient stories, stands a mysterious collection of standing stones, known as the deer stones. These megalithic monuments, scattered across the steppe, are unlike anything found elsewhere in the world. Each stone is carved with intricate, enigmatic symbols and depictions, many showing stylized images of deer alongside other symbols that have puzzled scholars for centuries. Some of the stones are simple, while others feature complex engravings suggesting an advanced understanding of artistry and symbolism. The deer stones are often found near burial mounds or kurgans, suggesting they were part of a ceremonial or funerary landscape. The carvings, dating back to the Bronze Age, depict more than just animals. Some feature human-like figures with raised arms or symbolic gestures, possibly connecting the living, the dead, and the divine. But what were these stones used for? Were they markers of sacred ground, or did they serve as a form of communication with the spiritual world? These questions remain unanswered, and as the deer stones stand silently amidst the wind-swept grasslands, they challenge our understanding of ancient human rituals. Mainstream interpretations suggest that the deer stones were created by the nomadic cultures of the Central Asian steppes during the Bronze Age, particularly the Scythians and later the Xiongnu. The stones are commonly associated with burial sites, and many researchers believe they marked graves of elite individuals or leaders. The carvings depicting deer may symbolize spiritual power or a connection to the natural world. Deer, revered in many cultures for their grace and speed, could have symbolized strength, fertility, or a link to the gods. Could the deer stones be markers for powerful individuals, reminding others of the deceased's spiritual role? However, the deer stones resist simple explanation. The symbols carved into them are abstract and open to various interpretations. Some stones depict not just deer, but other symbols, spirals, circles, and geometric shapes that seem to suggest a more complex belief system, possibly related to the stars, the sun, or cycles of life and death. One of the most puzzling aspects of the deer stones is the consistent depiction of human-like figures alongside animals, suggesting that the stones may have served a dual purpose, as representations of the natural world and as symbols of spiritual or shamanistic figures. Could these carvings represent an early form of written language, an attempt to communicate symbolically instead of using words? While some dismiss this idea, citing the lack of a consistent linguistic structure, others propose that the deer stones may represent proto-writing or symbolic communication. The widespread presence of these stones across the steppes raises the possibility of an ancient network of peoples who shared a common symbolic language. Could these carvings be part of a larger, forgotten system of communication connecting different nomadic cultures across the Eurasian steppe? As we delve deeper into the mystery of the deer stones, more speculative theories emerge. Some researchers suggest that the stones might have been used for astronomical or calendrical purposes. The alignment of the stones, along with their carvings, could point to an understanding of celestial cycles, knowledge essential for nomadic peoples who relied on the rhythms of nature for survival. The deer imagery, possibly linked to seasonal changes and animal migrations, may reflect a more sophisticated understanding of the natural world than we expect. Another theory posits that the deer stones were not merely markers for the dead, but acted as spiritual portals, connecting the physical world with the realm of the spirits. The abstract symbols and human figures could represent shamans or spiritual leaders, using the stones to facilitate communication with the spirit world. Could the stones have been used in rituals that involved entering altered states of consciousness? The vast steppe, the wind, and the carved deer, could these stones have served as focal points for meditation or trance, helping individuals access a deeper connection with the divine? The deer stones also raise questions about the relationships between these ancient cultures and the larger world. How did the people who carved these stones, likely isolated on the vast steppe, acquire such complex symbolic knowledge? Were they influenced by distant cultures, or did they develop these beliefs independently? The interconnectedness of ancient societies across Eurasia is a growing area of archaeological interest, and the deer stones may provide a clue to understanding the movement of ideas, technologies, and beliefs across the steppe. Despite the many theories, the true purpose and meaning of the deer stones remain shrouded in mystery. Their symbolic complexity suggests they were more than simple monuments. They were key to understanding the spiritual and social lives of the people who created them. Yet, despite decades of research, we are still left with more questions than answers. What were the creators of the deer stones trying to communicate? Were these stones a map of the cosmos, a tribute to the deceased, or something else entirely? As we stand before these ancient carvings, we wonder, what knowledge, lost to time, might still be hidden within the stones of the steppe? What secrets might be waiting to be uncovered, locked within the silent, weathered surfaces of these prehistoric monuments? The deer stones continue to stand as a testament to the mysteries of our distant past, unanswered, yet compelling in their invitation to explore what lies beyond the surface of time. In the vast, sweeping plains of Mongolia, where the sky stretches endlessly and the wind whispers ancient stories, stands a collection of standing stones, known as the deer stones. Scattered across the steppe, these megalithic monuments are unlike anything found elsewhere in the world. Each stone is intricately carved with enigmatic symbols and depictions, many featuring stylized images of deer alongside other mysterious symbols. Some stones are simple, while others are adorned with complex engravings that suggest an advanced understanding of artistry and symbolism. The deer stones are often found near burial mounds or kurgans, suggesting that they were part of a ceremonial or funerary landscape. The carvings, dating back to the Bronze Age, depict more than just animals. They also feature human-like figures, often with raised arms or symbolic gestures, possibly indicating a connection between the living, the dead, and the divine. But what were these stones used for? Were they markers of sacred ground, or did they serve as a form of communication with the spiritual world? These questions remain unanswered, and as the deer stones stand silently amidst the windswept grasslands, they challenge our understanding of ancient human rituals. Mainstream interpretations suggest that the deer stones were created by nomadic cultures of the Central Asian steppes during the Bronze Age, particularly the Scythians and later the Xiongnu. These stones are typically associated with burial sites, and many researchers believe they were erected as part of burial rituals, marking the graves of elite individuals or leaders. The carvings of deer may symbolize spiritual power or a connection to the natural world. Deer, revered in many ancient cultures for their grace and speed, may have symbolized strength, fertility, or a link to the gods. Could the deer stones be markers for powerful individuals, acting as a reminder of the deceased's spiritual power? However, the deer stones resist simple explanations. The symbols carved into the stones are abstract and open to multiple interpretations. Some stones feature not only deer but also spirals, circles, and geometric shapes, suggesting a more complex belief system possibly related to the stars, the sun, or cycles of life and death. One of the most puzzling aspects of the deer stones is the consistent representation of human-like figures alongside animals, suggesting that these stones may have had a dual purpose, as symbols of the natural world and as representations of spiritual or shamanistic figures. Could the carvings be an early form of written language, an attempt to communicate symbolically rather than using words? While some scholars dismiss this idea, citing the lack of a consistent linguistic structure, others argue that the deer stones could represent proto-writing or symbolic communication. The widespread presence of these stones across the steppes raises the possibility that there was an ancient network of peoples who shared a common symbolic language. Could these carvings be part of a larger, forgotten system of communication connecting different nomadic cultures across the vast Eurasian steppe? As we delve deeper into the mystery of the deer stones, more speculative theories emerge. Some researchers suggest that the stones may have been used for astronomical or calendrical purposes. The alignment of the deer stones, along with their intricate carvings, could point to a deep understanding of celestial cycles, knowledge essential for the survival of these nomadic peoples, who relied on the rhythms of nature for hunting and migration. The deer imagery, possibly linked to seasonal changes and animal migrations, may indicate a sophisticated understanding of the natural world. Another theory posits that the deer stones were not just markers for the dead, but served as spiritual portals, connecting the physical world with the realm of the spirits. The abstract symbols and human figures could represent shamans or spiritual leaders, using the stones to facilitate communication with the spirit world. Could the stones have been used in rituals that involved altered states of consciousness? The vastness of the steppe, the wind, and the carved deer. Could these stones have served as focal points for meditation or trance, helping individuals connect with the divine? The deer stones also raise questions about the relationships between these ancient cultures and the larger world. How did the people who carved these stones, likely isolated on the vast steppe, acquire such complex symbolic knowledge? Were they influenced by distant cultures, or did they develop these beliefs independently? The interconnectedness of ancient societies across Eurasia is a growing field in archaeology, and the deer stones may provide important insights into the movement of ideas, technologies, and beliefs across the steppe. Despite many theories, the true purpose and meaning of the deer stones remain shrouded in mystery. Their symbolic complexity suggests that they were much more than simple monuments. They were key to understanding the spiritual and social lives of the people who created them. Yet, despite decades of research, we are left with more questions than answers. What were the creators of the deer stones trying to communicate? Were these stones a map of the cosmos, a tribute to the deceased, or something else entirely? Standing before these ancient carvings, we wonder what knowledge, lost to time, might still be hidden within the stones of the steppe. What secrets might be waiting, locked within the silent, weathered surfaces of these prehistoric monuments? The deer stones continue to stand as a testament to the mysteries of our distant past, unanswered yet compelling in their invitation to explore what lies beyond the surface of time. As we shift our focus from the submerged ruins of Yonaguni to the heart of the Russian Urals, we encounter a truly remarkable artifact, the Shigir Idol. Standing at over 2.8 meters, this wooden statue is one of the oldest and most intricate examples of prehistoric art ever discovered, with origins tracing back more than 11,000 years. Unearthed in 1894 from a peat bog near the Shigir River, the idol's discovery stunned archaeologists, revealing a level of sophistication far beyond what we expected from early human societies during the Mesolithic period. The Shigir Idol is made from a single piece of larch wood, intricately carved with geometric patterns and symbols that seem almost otherworldly. The figure resembles a human form, though elongated and distorted, with faces carved into its surface, stacked one upon another. The carvings suggest a deliberate attempt to convey more than a simple representation of a person. This was an object of profound meaning, likely serving a spiritual or ritualistic purpose. Despite its weathered surface, darkened by time, the idol's detailed craftsmanship reveals a culture with advanced artistry, symbolism, and spirituality. What makes the Shigir Idol intriguing is not just its size or the craftsmanship, but its striking symbolism. The figure's multiple faces, some with hollowed eyes and strange markings, hint at a complex belief system, possibly linked to ancestor worship, spiritual transformation, or early deities. The figure appears to be a spiritual intermediary, designed to communicate with the unseen world, a conduit between the living and the dead. But what exactly was it meant to represent? Was it a deity, a shaman, or something more abstract, like the forces of nature or the cosmos? Mainstream interpretations of the Shigir Idol suggest it was a ritualistic object, crafted by Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, possibly ancestors of the Uralic peoples. It may have been used in ceremonies related to fertility, death, or the cycles of nature. Given its size and complexity, it might have been placed in a central location during important rituals, acting as both a spiritual focal point and a symbol of communal identity. Could it have connected people with the spiritual world, a tangible representation of a deity or spirit they worshipped or feared? Yet, as we explore the idol further, we encounter more questions than answers. The carvings include symbols that are unfamiliar and difficult to interpret. Some researchers have noted that the intricate patterns seem similar to motifs found in other ancient cultures, suggesting the Shigir Idol could be part of a larger regional tradition of symbolic art. What does this mean for our understanding of prehistoric cultures? Could there have been a cultural exchange between ancient peoples across Eurasia, linking the Urals with regions like the Caspian or the Balkans? Could the idol be evidence of a network of early humans sharing ideas, symbols, and spiritual practices that we have yet to fully understand? In addition to the mysterious carvings, the idol's wooden composition raises even more questions. The fact that it has survived over 11,000 years in the peat bog, a harsh environment, is remarkable. Archaeologists believe the idol was deliberately placed in the bog, possibly as an offering or part of a burial. This raises the possibility that the Shigir Idol was more than a ritual object. It could have been a symbolic marker for the dead, a guide to the afterlife, or a talisman for protection against malevolent forces. Was it meant to return to the earth, deepening its connection to the spiritual realm? Some fringe theories offer even more speculative ideas about the idol's origin and purpose. Some researchers suggest that the idol might be a map, with the carvings representing symbolic landmarks or guiding points for ancient travelers. Others propose that the idol's faces represent a long-lost human lineage, or an early form of ancestor worship, connecting the idol to humanity's oldest concepts of identity and lineage. Could the faces carved on the idol represent a forgotten people, a lost tribe that once inhabited the Urals? There are also more fantastical theories, linking the Shigir Idol to extraterrestrial influences or a forgotten civilization with advanced knowledge. Some suggest that the sophisticated art and spiritual expression could have originated from a lost higher culture. While these ideas remain fringe, they reflect the ongoing fascination and mystery surrounding the Shigir Idol. Despite the wealth of research and speculation, the true purpose of the Shigir Idol remains an enigma. It is clear that the idol held deep spiritual or cultural significance for the people who created it, but its exact meaning, whether as a deity, ancestor, or cosmic symbol, remains elusive. The idol's symbolic complexity speaks to a sophisticated worldview, one that transcends our understanding of the spiritual and material worlds in ways we are only beginning to grasp. As we contemplate the Shigir Idol, its multiple faces staring silently back through the centuries, we wonder, what knowledge does this ancient artifact hold, waiting to be uncovered? What other secrets of the prehistoric world are hidden in objects like this one, waiting for us to decipher their meaning? The Shigir Idol, with its mysterious carvings and profound symbolism, continues to challenge us, inviting us to look deeper into the past and wonder what lies buried beneath the surface, hidden in plain sight. As we journey deeper into the past, we encounter one of the most intriguing and mysterious artworks of prehistoric North America, the White Shaman mural, located in the remote Pecos River Canyon in southwestern Texas. Hidden from view by the rugged landscape, this ancient rock painting, discovered in the 1930s, remains one of the most enigmatic examples of ritualistic art. Its vivid, complex imagery continues to captivate researchers, suggesting that the people who created it were deeply attuned to both the natural and spiritual worlds. The mural, painted on the rock face of a cave near the Rio Grande, spans several feet and depicts a series of symbols and figures, including a central shaman figure surrounded by abstract forms. The shaman, painted in white, is shown with a raised arm and an elongated body, as though in a trance or ritualistic state. Surrounding this central figure are other elements that seem to represent animals, geometric patterns, and human-like figures, all interwoven in a style that feels both familiar and otherworldly. The mural's composition is bold, with its colors, primarily red, yellow, and white, remaining remarkably vivid despite the passage of time. The significance of the White Shaman mural has long been debated. The mainstream interpretation suggests it depicts a shamanic ritual, possibly tied to the spiritual practices of the Jornada Mogollon people who lived in the region over 1,000 years ago. The shaman figure, painted in white, may symbolize a spiritual or transformational journey, with the raised arm suggesting a connection to the divine or the spirit world. The abstract symbols surrounding the figure, some resembling footprints, spirals, or animal motifs, could represent a journey, a rite of passage, or a connection with otherworldly forces. Yet, the more we examine the mural, the more questions arise. The central figure's elongated body and otherworldly symbolism don't neatly fit into any known cultural or religious framework of the time. While the depiction of the shaman aligns with representations of spiritual leaders or ritual practitioners, the overall complexity and abstraction suggest that its meaning may be much more profound than we currently understand. Was the mural created as a form of storytelling, representing a specific myth or narrative from the culture of the Jornada Mogollon? Or was it a personal expression, capturing the artist's own spiritual experiences and visions? Some have proposed that the White Shaman mural is not just a depiction of an individual ritual, but a map of sorts, charting the journey of the soul through various realms of existence. The shaman's raised arm might symbolize an attempt to connect with the divine or journey beyond the physical realm. The surrounding symbols could represent spiritual obstacles, guides, or realms encountered on this journey. In this view, the mural would serve as a visual guide for those seeking to navigate the spiritual world. There are also theories suggesting that the mural represents an early attempt to record knowledge about the natural world, possibly related to astronomy. Some researchers have pointed out that certain symbols resemble celestial bodies, such as stars or constellations. Could the White Shaman mural be an ancient map of the night sky, depicting the heavens with deep significance for the people who created it? Did the shaman figure represent a cosmic intermediary, someone who could connect the earthly realm to the stars and beyond? Adding another layer of complexity to the mural is the fact that the Jornada Mogollon people, like many ancient cultures, had no written language. The mural could represent an early form of communication, an attempt to convey complex ideas, stories, or beliefs using symbols and visual language. The figures and symbols on the rock may have had a language of their own, a visual vocabulary that communicated beyond words. In this sense, the white shaman mural might be one of the earliest forms of symbolic thought, bridging the physical and spiritual worlds. Beyond mainstream interpretations, some more speculative theories have emerged. Some suggest the mural could depict a shamanic trance or a spiritual experience induced by hallucinogenic plants. The exaggerated figures and ethereal quality of the imagery might suggest the artist sought to capture an experience transcending ordinary reality. Could the mural be a representation of a vision, an altered state of consciousness, or a glimpse into another world? Others propose that the mural is evidence of a long-forgotten belief system, predating known spiritual traditions. Could it represent an ancient spiritual tradition that connected the people of the Pecos River Canyon with cosmic forces? Was this belief system shared by other indigenous peoples, or was it unique to the Jornada Mogollon? Despite many theories, the true meaning of the white shaman mural remains elusive. It is clear that the object held deep spiritual or cultural significance, but its exact meaning, whether a deity, ancestor, or cosmic symbol, remains unclear. The idol's symbolic complexity speaks to a worldview that transcends our understanding of the spiritual and material worlds in ways we are only beginning to grasp. As we contemplate the white shaman mural, its multiple faces staring silently back through the centuries, we are left with more questions than answers. What did the artists intend to convey? Was it a ritual scene, a personal vision, or something else entirely? The complexity and symbolism of the mural invite us to look deeper, to consider not just what is depicted, but what lies beneath the surface of these ancient symbols. Deep in the heart of West Africa, near the banks of the Gambia and Senegal rivers, lies one of the most mysterious and ancient stone structures in the world, the stone circles of Senegambia. These megalithic formations, scattered across the plains of Senegal and Gambia, have long intrigued archaeologists, historians, and explorers. The purpose and creators of these stone circles remain shrouded in mystery, with each formation standing as a testament to an ancient civilization whose existence is still only partially understood. The Senegambian stone circles span over 15,000 square kilometers, with hundreds of stone rings, some consisting of as many as 1,000 stones arranged in precise patterns. The stones, made of granite, stand upright in neat rows, some towering over 2 meters high, while others have fallen or been scattered over time. The sheer scale of the site is remarkable, with over 1,000 circles believed to have once stood, connected by ancient paths, creating an intricate network. But what purpose did these stones serve, and who were the people who built them? The most widely accepted theory suggests that the stone circles were constructed between 3,000 and 1,000 years ago by the ancestors of the Manding people, who lived in the region. Scholars generally agree that the circles had a ceremonial or religious function, possibly marking spiritual sites, serving as communal gathering spaces, or acting as burial grounds. The arrangement of the stones hints at a connection to celestial events, such as solstices or equinoxes, suggesting the builders possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy. These ancient people may have used the stone circles as a celestial calendar, tracking the sun and stars to guide their agricultural practices, rituals, and migrations. While the mainstream interpretation ties the circles to astronomy and ritual, the true significance of the Senegambian stone circles goes beyond simple utility. The purpose of the site remains unclear, and the mysteries surrounding its construction continue to stir speculation. For one, the methods used to transport and place the massive stones remain a puzzle. How did these people, without modern technology, manage to move stones weighing up to 50 tons? The lack of written records makes it difficult to determine how such monumental tasks were achieved, raising questions about the knowledge and techniques of the builders. There is also the question of the role these stone circles played in the broader context of ancient African civilizations. Some researchers have suggested that the Senegambian stone circles may be linked to other megalithic sites in Africa, such as those in southern Africa or the ruins of Great Zimbabwe. Could these structures be part of a larger cultural network, connecting different regions with shared knowledge, spiritual practices, and architectural techniques? If the Senegambian stone circles were part of a wider African megalithic tradition, what did they symbolize, and how were they used by the people who constructed them? As we move from mainstream explanations to more speculative ideas, we encounter theories that challenge our historical understanding. Some researchers have proposed that the stone circles were not merely functional or ceremonial, but may have held deeper spiritual meanings. Could the stone circles serve as a link between the physical world and a spiritual realm, acting as portals for communication with the divine? The precise arrangement of the stones, along with their alignment to celestial events, raises the possibility that these circles represented a more metaphysical understanding, perhaps symbolizing the journey of the soul or a connection to the cosmos. There are even more far-reaching ideas that connect the Senegambian stone circles to theories about lost civilizations or extraterrestrial influence. Some fringe theorists suggest that the complexity of the stone circles points to an advanced civilization with knowledge far ahead of its time. Could these megalithic structures have been created with advanced knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and engineering, skills that, according to some, were passed down by extraterrestrial visitors or ancient lost civilizations? While these ideas remain speculative, they reflect the ongoing mystery surrounding the site. The social and cultural role of the stone circles is another area of debate. While some believe the circles were used as burial sites for elites or important leaders, others suggest they were for communal rituals, marking significant social events. The scale and size of the site imply it was a hub of cultural activity, where people from different regions came together for religious ceremonies, trade, or political negotiations. Could these stone circles have served as places of collective identity, uniting different communities through shared spiritual beliefs? Despite all the theories and interpretations, the true purpose of the Senegambian stone circles remains elusive. Was this vast network of stones used for astronomical navigation, spiritual worship, or as a cultural symbol? The stone circles stand silently in the African landscape, continuing to raise more questions than they answer. As we contemplate these ancient structures, we are left to ponder what other mysteries remain hidden beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered and reveal their long-forgotten secrets. In the depths of a limestone cave in southwestern Germany, hidden from the world, a small yet profoundly significant sculpture was discovered in 2008, the Venus of Hohle Fels. Carved from mammoth ivory, this 6.7 centimeters tall figurine holds a wealth of mysteries, stretching far beyond its delicate size. Found in the Hohle Fels cave, dating back around 40,000 years, the sculpture has reshaped our understanding of prehistoric art and raised questions about symbolism, fertility, and social structures in early human societies. The Venus of Hohle Fels is one of the earliest known depictions of the human form, particularly a female figure. Her exaggerated features, prominent breasts, a rounded belly, and wide hips, emphasize fertility. The head is almost featureless, and arms and legs are simplified, almost abstract. While her exact purpose remains uncertain, the figurine shares similarities with other Venus figurines across Europe, all depicting the female body in stylized forms. Many believe these figurines were symbols of fertility or femininity. Mainstream interpretations suggest the Venus of Hohle Fels, like other prehistoric figurines, was a representation of fertility, possibly a ritualistic object used by early humans to ensure successful reproduction or agricultural growth. The exaggerated features likely symbolized fertility and abundance, crucial in a time when survival was shaped by harsh conditions and unpredictable resources. Could these figurines have served as a form of sympathetic magic, where creating or using such a figure was believed to bring prosperity? However, as we delve deeper into the mystery, the Venus of Ħal Fels may have represented far more than fertility. The emphasis on the female form may point to deeper symbolic meanings. Why was she crafted with such care? Why were the breasts and hips exaggerated while the face remained unmarked? Could this focus on physical features symbolize gender roles or the power of womanhood in prehistoric societies? Some suggest that these figurines, including the Venus of Ħal Fels, may have represented an idealized or archetypal woman, transcending individual identity to become a universal symbol. These figurines could embody an abstract concept of fertility or life itself, detached from the individual and transformed into a symbol of the natural cycles of birth, growth, and death. The remote regions where these figures were crafted suggest that their meaning was deeply rooted in the spiritual or ritual practices of early human cultures. Theories also propose that these figurines served a social function beyond just religious or magical purposes. Researchers suggest that Venus figurines were part of an early form of storytelling or visual communication. Each figurine may have carried specific cultural significance. Could the Venus of Ħal Fels have been a marker of social status or linked to an important individual in the community? Could it symbolize leadership, revered as a physical manifestation of a powerful force, spiritual, political, or social? As we move beyond mainstream explanations, more speculative theories emerge. Some suggest that the figurine might have had a personal or intimate function. Given its small size and the materials used, some researchers believe it could have been a portable talisman carried by someone for protection or empowerment. The use of small figurines or amulets for personal guidance or spiritual connection is not new. Could the Venus of Ħal Fels have served such a purpose, acting as a companion for someone on a literal or metaphorical journey? Fringe theories also propose that the Venus figurines represent an early form of social organization, transcending the roles of men and women as we understand them today. The exaggerated focus on the female form may suggest a matriarchal society, where women held central roles in both spiritual and social life. Although speculative, this theory adds another layer of complexity to the interpretation of prehistoric art. Could the Venus figurines represent a time when women held significant power, with their roles symbolized by these figures, not only as fertility symbols but as markers of status and leadership? Despite the many theories, the true purpose and meaning of the Venus of Ħal Fels remain mysterious. Was it simply a fertility symbol, or did it serve a more complex cultural, spiritual, or personal function? Its simplicity combined with detailed craftsmanship suggests it was far more than a decorative object. It was a piece of art, an artifact of deep cultural and spiritual significance. Reflecting on this remarkable figure, we are reminded that prehistoric humans were far from primitive in their understanding of the world. They created art and symbols that communicated complex ideas about life, death, and the forces that shaped their existence. The Venus of Ħal Fels, like other ancient artifacts, invites us to ask, what secrets about our distant ancestors still lie buried in the earth, waiting to be uncovered? What meanings, lost to time, might still be hidden in the art of our earliest human ancestors? In the dense jungles of Costa Rica, near the banks of the Gambia and Senegal rivers, lies one of the most fascinating and mysterious archaeological sites, the stone spheres of Costa Rica. These perfectly round stone formations, scattered across the Diquís Delta region, have baffled archaeologists, historians, and explorers for decades. Some of these massive spheres weigh several tons and reach diameters of up to 2.5 meters. Despite their impressive size and precision, the purpose and origin of the spheres remain unresolved. The stones were first discovered in the 1930s by workers clearing land for banana plantations. Since then, their origin and significance have captured the curiosity of researchers. The spherical stones, some of which are crafted from local granite, stand upright in neat rows. Some are perfectly smooth, suggesting a high level of craftsmanship. What purpose did these massive orbs serve, and who created them? Mainstream interpretations suggest that the stones were created by the Diki culture, who inhabited the region between 500 and 1500 AD. These stone circles likely served ceremonial or religious purposes. The Diki people, known for their complex chiefdoms, may have used the spheres to mark sacred sites, delineate territory, or symbolize cosmic forces. The alignment and arrangement of the stones suggest that they may have been linked to celestial events, such as solstices or equinoxes, highlighting the builder's understanding of astronomy and the natural world. However, the true purpose of the stones remains unclear. The precise methods used to transport and place the massive stones continue to perplex researchers. Some spheres weigh as much as 50 tons, yet there is no evidence of advanced technology or machinery to move them. How could the Diki people, without written language or modern tools, create and position these perfectly spherical shapes? The labor required to craft and place these stones suggests a level of organization and skill that seems ahead of its time. The size and uniformity of the spheres have led some researchers to propose that they were part of a larger, more complex system of monuments, possibly even a lost city or ceremonial complex. The placement of these stones, potentially aligned with celestial events, suggests they could have been used as part of a larger ceremonial landscape. Were the stones positioned to mark the changing seasons, solstices, or other astronomical phenomena? The Diki people, like many ancient cultures, may have had a deep connection with the stars and nature. Could the spheres have been used to track celestial cycles? Despite the speculation, the true function of the stones remains elusive. While some researchers believe the spheres were symbols of power or status, others suggest they had more esoteric meanings. The prevalence of spherical shapes in ancient cultures across the world raises the possibility that these stones symbolize something deeper, perhaps the passage of time, the cycles of life and death, or the balance of natural forces. Could the stones represent universal concepts that transcended material concerns? Adding to the mystery is the fact that the spheres were carved from hard igneous rock with remarkable precision. Some appear intentionally split, their halves arranged deliberately, suggesting purposeful placement. The Diki people's advanced understanding of stonework is evident, yet the precise craftsmanship raises questions about the symbolic significance of the spheres, hinting at religious or spiritual beliefs that went beyond the physical world. There are also fringe theories that suggest the spheres may have been created by an unknown, earlier civilization with advanced knowledge or even extraterrestrial influences. Some researchers propose that the intricacy of the stone circles points to a civilization with knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and engineering that surpassed what is typically associated with ancient peoples. While these ideas remain speculative, they reflect the intrigue and mystery surrounding the site. The social role of the stone spheres is another area of interest. While some believe they were used for funerary purposes, such as marking elite burial sites, others suggest they were linked to communal rituals, religious ceremonies, or social events. The scale of the site implies that it was a center for cultural activity, where people from different regions may have gathered for spiritual, social, or political reasons. Could the stone spheres have served as markers of collective identity, uniting different communities through shared beliefs and practices? Despite the numerous theories, the true purpose of the stone spheres of Costa Rica remains a mystery. Were they celestial tools, symbols of social status, or representations of something more esoteric? The unanswered questions leave us to wonder about the cultural knowledge of the Dikis people. a society with few written records or other artifacts. As we stand before these silent, massive stones, we are left to ponder. What secrets might still lie buried in the landscape of Costa Rica? What wisdom did the builders of these spheres possess, and how much of it has been lost to time? The stone spheres of Costa Rica continue to whisper their ancient secrets, urging us to explore beyond the surface and uncover the mysteries hidden beneath the earth. In the remote plains of South America, particularly in Argentina, lies an extraordinary and mysterious relic of prehistoric hunting: the giant sloth hunting pits. These massive, carefully constructed depressions in the earth, designed to trap and kill some of the largest creatures ever to roam the planet, provide a glimpse into the sophisticated hunting strategies used by early humans. Dating back to the Pleistocene era, these pits, which once captured the giant sloths, offer valuable insight into human ingenuity in the face of such colossal beasts. The pits were first discovered in the 1930s, as workers were clearing land for agriculture. These meticulously planned depressions are often interconnected in complex networks, measuring as deep as 3 meters and several meters wide. Some pits are lined with sharp-edged rocks, and remains of animals found near the traps suggest that they were more than just simple hunting tools. The scale of the pits, combined with their precise construction, points to a highly organized method of hunting, one that required more than brute strength. The most accepted theory is that these traps were created by the first humans of the Americas, particularly the ancestors of the native peoples in the region. Scholars believe the pits were used to hunt giant sloths, part of the megafauna that roamed the Americas during the Pleistocene. The theory suggests early humans used coordinated tactics, such as herding the giant sloths into the pits, where they were trapped and killed by spears or other weapons. The level of coordination required to hunt such massive animals indicates a complex social structure and advanced planning. Yet, the true methods behind the construction and use of these pits raise several questions. How did the Diki culture manage to build and position such large traps using only primitive tools? The sheer labor involved in crafting and transporting the heavy stones that lined the pits would have required a high degree of planning and communal effort. There's no evidence of written language or advanced machinery to help with the creation of the pits, making the methods employed even more impressive. The giant sloth's extinction also adds an intriguing layer to this mystery. The Pleistocene era saw the decline of many megafauna species, including the giant sloth. While the role of humans in this extinction event is still debated, it raises the question: did humans play a direct role in the sloth's disappearance through overhunting, or did environmental factors such as climate change contribute? The advanced hunting strategies used to trap these animals may have contributed to the shift in the ecosystem. Beyond the mainstream explanations, some have speculated that the hunting pits might have had a ritualistic or ceremonial purpose. The scale and effort involved in creating these pits raise the possibility that they were not solely functional objects, but were linked to spiritual or cultural practices. The act of hunting giant sloths could have had symbolic significance, with the creatures seen as more than mere prey, perhaps representing an important spiritual or totemic animal. Could these pits have been part of a larger spiritual ritual, where the act of hunting was tied to a greater connection with the natural world? Moreover, the strategic locations of the pits suggest that the builders understood their environment intimately. Many pits are positioned where the natural landscape could guide animals toward the traps, indicating a knowledge of both the land and the creatures that inhabited it. This knowledge may have been accumulated over generations, gradually refining hunting techniques. Could the pits represent a culmination of a long process of trial and error, or were they the product of a singular advanced culture whose true significance is still hidden? Some fringe theories propose that the pits could be evidence of a lost civilization with advanced hunting knowledge. These theories suggest that the creation of such traps required knowledge of the environment and the use of sophisticated tools or techniques, possibly even technologies that have been lost to time. However, these ideas remain speculative and lack archaeological support. Despite these theories, the true purpose of the giant sloth hunting pits remains unclear. Were they tools of survival, ceremonial objects, or symbols of a deeper cultural meaning? The precision and scale of the pits indicate a level of sophistication that challenges our understanding of early human societies. The mystery surrounding the pits invites us to ask, what did the creators of these hunting traps know about their environment that we have yet to uncover? What other secrets of the prehistoric world remain hidden, waiting to be discovered? The giant sloth hunting pits, like many ancient sites, continue to pose more questions than answers. They challenge us to reconsider what we know about early human cultures and their connection to the natural world. As we continue to explore these prehistoric sites, we are left with a sense of wonder about the lost knowledge of our ancestors, waiting to be uncovered by future generations. Beneath the sun-drenched island of Malta, where the Mediterranean waves kiss the coastline, lies a hidden underground world, the Hypogeum of Ħal Saflieni. Carved deep into the limestone bedrock, this subterranean complex dates back over 5,000 years to around 2,500 BC, making it one of the oldest and most mysterious archaeological sites. The Hypogeum is a vast, multi-level necropolis believed to have served as a place of ritual, burial, and spiritual connection. Its discovery in 1902 has captivated archaeologists and explorers, raising profound questions about its purpose and the culture that built it. The site consists of a labyrinthine network of rooms and corridors, some of which are so precisely carved that they suggest advanced architectural skills. Walls are adorned with intricate carvings, and some chambers feature large stone slabs that fit perfectly into their spaces. The complex's eerie atmosphere, combined with its architectural sophistication, hints that it served more than just burial purposes. The Hypogeum may have been a place where the living and the dead intersected, a sacred site echoing with rituals and spiritual practices. The Hypogeum's structure spans 3 levels, with over 7,000 human remains uncovered, some well-preserved and adorned with red ochre. These bones suggest the people who were buried there were part of a complex society that viewed the dead and their relationship to the divine as a significant part of daily life. The remains, combined with the acoustics of the chambers, have led researchers to suggest that the Hypogeum was a place for both the deceased and the living, where the sacred and the worldly met. One of the most intriguing features of the Hypogeum is the oracle chamber, a circular room known for its unique acoustics. The sound in this chamber carries with such resonance that a person's voice seems to reverberate in strange, almost otherworldly ways. Some believe this chamber was used for rituals or divination, perhaps to communicate with the gods or seek spiritual visions. The acoustics suggest that sound played a central role in the site's function, and the manipulation of sound may have been an essential element of the ceremonies held within its walls. Mainstream theories suggest the Hypogeum was primarily a burial site, used by a priestly or ruling class to enter the dead in a manner that connected them with the divine. The precise design and alignment of the chambers may indicate the builders had an advanced understanding of astronomy, possibly marking celestial events such as solstices or lunar phases. These astronomical connections suggest that the site may have also been a place where the people of Malta celebrated or honored the cosmos, connecting their spiritual and material worlds. However, as researchers delve deeper into the mysteries of the Hypogeum, more speculative theories emerge. Some propose that the site was not only a burial ground, but a place of spiritual transformation, where rituals brought about transcendence or awakening. Could the Hypogeum have served as a site where the living interacted with the spirits of the dead, entering a trance-like state to communicate with the otherworldly? The acoustics of the oracle chamber support this theory, hinting that sound played a role in inducing altered states of consciousness during rituals. Additionally, the unexplained remains found within the Hypogeum suggest the people who used it had a highly developed belief system. Some remains show signs of violent death, while others were ritually prepared, indicating that these individuals were part of an elaborate spiritual or social structure. The red ochre, often associated with death and rebirth, hints at a belief in life after death, where the deceased were thought to journey beyond this world. Adding to the mystery is the construction of the Hypogeum itself. How did the ancient builders carve such a vast and intricate structure from solid limestone without modern tools or technology? The precise engineering required raises questions about the knowledge and skills of the people who created it. Could this site be evidence of a lost civilization, whose advanced understanding of acoustics, architecture, and spirituality has been obscured by time? The Hypogeum remains largely unexplored, with much of the site still buried beneath the earth. What secrets remain hidden beneath its surface? What other knowledge, lost to time, might be uncovered as research continues? The eerie atmosphere of the Hypogeum and its haunting acoustics speak to a civilization that has long since vanished, leaving behind only whispers of their rituals and beliefs. As we stand before this ancient underground world, we are left to ponder. What knowledge about the spiritual and natural world did the people who built the Hypogeum possess? What truths remain hidden within its walls, waiting for us to uncover? The mysteries of the Hypogeum of Ħal Saflieni continue to captivate and challenge our understanding of ancient cultures and their deep connection to the cosmos. In the rugged Vézère Valley of southwestern France lies an enigmatic site, La Marche Cave, home to one of the most intriguing prehistoric artworks ever discovered. Deep within this limestone cave, hidden from view for millennia, are the La Marche Cave portraits. These haunting carvings, first uncovered in the early 20th century, offer a glimpse into the minds of the Paleolithic people who lived there over 17,000 years ago. The portraits, carved into the cave's walls, depict human faces with exaggerated features and have long baffled archaeologists. The La Marche Cave portraits are abstract representations of human figures, most featuring prominent eyes, large noses, and wide faces. Some appear female, while others seem male, yet their exact meaning remains unclear. The carvings lack realistic detail, emphasizing certain features over others. What were these faces meant to symbolize? Were they depictions of actual individuals, or did they serve as a symbolic or spiritual function? Mainstream interpretations suggest that the portraits were part of the Magdalenian culture's cave art tradition, used in ritualistic or ceremonial contexts. The exaggerated features of the faces likely symbolize fertility, strength, or wisdom, qualities that were important in the survival and spiritual beliefs of the people. Some believe these portraits were created as a form of ancestral worship, a way to honor the dead, or to invoke protection from spirits. Yet, the true purpose of the portraits goes beyond this mainstream explanation. Their abstract style, along with the site's isolation, raises further questions. Why were such detailed images of humans carved in a remote cave, hidden away from view? Was the cave a sacred place, reserved for those with specific spiritual or ritual knowledge? Perhaps the portraits were part of initiation rites, marking a transformative journey between the physical and spiritual realms. The presence of human figures could suggest that the faces were intended to connect the living with the spiritual world, offering a conduit to the divine. The techniques used to carve the portraits also raise intriguing possibilities. The precision of the carvings, combined with their abstract nature, suggests a sophisticated understanding of human features and artistic techniques. The exaggerated characteristics could reflect the shamanistic practices of the time, where spiritual leaders might have used altered states of consciousness to perceive the world differently. Could the portraits have been intended to represent a journey into another realm, a state of transcendence where human features became symbolic representations of spiritual transformation? The idea that the Marche cave portraits could be part of a larger cultural network across prehistoric Europe also merits consideration. Could the figures be part of a broader artistic tradition, with similar themes appearing in other cave art sites? The possibility that different groups of people across Europe shared a common symbolic language raises the intriguing prospect that the Marche cave portraits are part of a widespread cultural or spiritual expression. If so, the portraits could represent a shared understanding of human identity, spirituality, and the natural world. Despite the challenges in interpreting the meaning of these ancient faces, their existence provides invaluable insight into the early human desire for expression. The lack of written records from this period means that the portraits are one of the few ways to understand the culture and beliefs of these people. The faces carved into the limestone stand as silent witnesses to an ancient people's complex understanding of life, death, and the universe. The Marche cave portraits, with their hauntingly enigmatic presence, continue to provoke questions about the past. Were they part of an early form of visual communication, a way for humans to convey ideas and beliefs in a world without written language? Were they intended to capture the essence of individuals, or were they more abstract, symbolizing spiritual or cosmic forces? These ancient carvings challenge us to think about human expression in a way that transcends time, offering a glimpse into the deeper spiritual dimensions of prehistoric life. As we reflect on these ancient faces, we are reminded of the mysteries that still lie hidden in the caves and landscapes of our distant past. The Marche cave portraits invite us to ask, what did these early humans understand about themselves, their environment, and the cosmos that we have yet to fully comprehend? What other secrets might remain hidden, waiting for future generations of explorers to uncover and interpret? In the arid desert of southern Egypt, near the banks of the Nile, lies a site that has puzzled archaeologists for decades: the Nabta Playa stone calendar. This megalithic site, located in the Dakhla Oasis, consists of a complex array of large stones arranged in precise patterns. Discovered in the 1970s, Nabta Playa is believed to be over 7,000 years old, predating both the Great Pyramids and Stonehenge, offering a window into the ingenuity of early human civilization. The site is most famous for its stone circle, a vast arrangement of stones that align with the movements of the sun, stars, and celestial events. Some of the stones are positioned to track solar events, such as solstices and equinoxes, suggesting an early understanding of astronomy. But the stone circle is just one part of a larger, more intricate complex. Scattered across the desert are other stone formations, some depicting animals, geometric shapes, and even ceremonial platforms. These structures indicate that Nabta Playa was not just an astronomical observatory, but also a place of ritual and social gatherings. The mainstream theory suggests that Nabta Playa served as a ceremonial site, created by a prehistoric society that had a deep connection to the stars and natural rhythms. It is believed that the people who built Nabta Playa used the site to track time for agricultural purposes, marking the changing seasons and guiding their planting and harvesting schedules. The alignment of the stones and their precise placement indicate that the people of Nabta Playa possessed advanced knowledge of the cosmos, a level of sophistication that predated the rise of the great Egyptian dynasties. Yet, despite the general agreement on the site's astronomical functions, many questions remain. How did these ancient peoples manage to create such large, perfectly aligned stones without the advanced tools or written records we associate with civilizations? The complexity of the site suggests that the creators of Nabta Playa had a deep understanding of both architecture and astronomy, but how they acquired this knowledge remains unclear. Some researchers have proposed that Nabta Playa was part of a larger system of celestial observatories, with other similar sites across Africa and beyond. If this theory is correct, Nabta Playa could have been a part of an ancient, interconnected network of religious or astronomical sites that guided early human societies in their interactions with the stars. Adding another layer to the mystery is the possibility that Nabta Playa was not only used for tracking the stars, but also served as a center for rituals or social gatherings. Some of the smaller stone structures, which resemble ceremonial platforms, could have been used for rituals associated with the celestial events marked by the larger stone circle. Was Nabta Playa a place where people came together for collective ceremonies, perhaps celebrating the cycles of the sun or honoring the gods? The site's positioning in the desert suggests that it may have held spiritual or symbolic importance, providing a connection to the heavens, the earth, and the forces of nature. The question of the society that built Nabta Playa also adds to its intrigue. Who were the people who created such a sophisticated site, and what knowledge did they possess? The site's construction, with its careful alignment of stones and intricate patterns, suggests a highly organized society with a deep understanding of the world around them. Yet, no written records or other artifacts have been found that would provide insight into the culture and beliefs of the people who built it. Did this society leave behind no trace of its existence, or was Nabta Playa just one piece of a broader, more enduring tradition that eventually evolved into the complex civilizations of ancient Egypt? As we continue to explore Nabta Playa, the site raises more questions than answers. Was it simply a tool for tracking time and celestial events, or did it have a more profound spiritual or social purpose? The sheer scale and complexity of the site suggest that it played a vital role in the lives of the people who built it, but its full meaning remains shrouded in mystery. The enigmatic stone formations invite us to reconsider what we know about early human societies and their relationship to the cosmos. In the end, Nabta Playa serves as a reminder that there is still much to learn about the ancient world. The knowledge, rituals, and beliefs encoded in its stones may be waiting for us to uncover, and the mysteries of this ancient site continue to beckon those who seek to understand the depths of prehistoric human civilization. In the frozen wilderness of southern Europe, where the vast plains meet the rugged landscapes, early humans crafted ingenious shelters from the very creatures they hunted. The mammoth bone huts. Discovered in Ukraine in the 1950s, these structures were made from the bones of mammoths and are among the most fascinating examples of prehistoric human ingenuity. Constructed between 20,000 and 25,000 years ago, they offer insight into how ancient people survived the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. These shelters were not mere makeshift hovels, but carefully designed homes that reflected a deep understanding of both materials and space. Large mammoth skulls and tusks were often used as supports, with the bones forming the framework of the walls. The interiors were lined with animal hides, and hearths suggest that fire played a key role in maintaining warmth. The scale and complexity of the huts suggest they were used by entire families or groups, providing communal space for shelter, survival, and social interaction. The people who built these huts were likely part of the Gravettian culture, nomadic hunter-gatherers who relied on mammoths for food, clothing, and tools. The use of the mammoth's bones as building materials indicates a resourceful and sophisticated society that maximized the use of every part of the animals they hunted. This level of craftsmanship, achieved without the aid of written language or advanced tools, speaks to their deep connection with the environment and the creatures within it. However, the true purpose behind the construction of these mammoth bone huts extends beyond simple shelter. While they were undoubtedly functional, some researchers suggest that the huts could have had spiritual or symbolic significance. The use of mammoth skulls and tusks in particular raises the question of whether these creatures held a special place in the belief system of the people who built the huts. The mammoth, a formidable and revered creature, may have been seen as a sacred animal, and the bones used to build the huts could have symbolized the strength and power of these beasts. The idea that the huts may have had a ritualistic purpose is further supported by the location and design of the structures. Some of the huts were placed in alignment with the natural environment, and the prominent mammoth skulls could have served as markers for spiritual or celestial purposes. Could these huts have been used for more than just shelter, perhaps for rites of passage, spiritual ceremonies, or even astronomical observations? The possibility that these shelters served as early observatories, marking the passage of time or the alignment of stars, adds another layer of mystery to their purpose. In addition to their practical function, the huts may have served as social or cultural centers, where members of the community gathered for rituals, storytelling, or communal activities. The communal nature of the huts suggests they were vital to the social fabric of early human life, providing not only physical protection but also a space for connection and shared cultural practices. The construction of these huts required coordination and cooperation, reflecting a complex social structure that enabled these people to thrive in the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. Some fringe theories speculate that the mammoth bone huts were part of a larger cultural or even astronomical system designed not just for survival, but for the understanding of the cosmos. Could the positioning of the bones and tusks have been aligned with celestial bodies, marking significant events like solstices or lunar phases? These ideas, while speculative, suggest that the people who created these huts possessed knowledge far beyond what we might expect from a society without written records. Despite all the research, the exact purpose of the mammoth bone huts remains elusive. Were they simply shelters, or did they hold deeper cultural or spiritual significance? Did the people who built them leave behind a legacy of belief systems encoded in the very structure of their homes? The mystery of the huts challenges our understanding of early human life, leaving us with more questions than answers. The mammoth bone huts remind us that the early humans who lived during the Ice Age were far from primitive. They were resourceful, adaptable, and deeply connected to the natural world. Their ability to create such sophisticated shelters speaks to their intelligence and ingenuity, and as we continue to study these ancient structures, we may uncover more about the lives and beliefs of the people who built them. The huts stand as a testament to the complexity of prehistoric human societies, offering a glimpse into a world that was both harsh and beautifully intricate. In the rolling hills of Oxfordshire, England, the Uffington White Horse stands as a testament to prehistoric ingenuity. Carved into the chalky hillside of White Horse Hill, this massive geoglyph, stretching over 110 meters, is one of Europe's most iconic and enigmatic landmarks. Its origins, thought to date back over 3,000 years, remain a subject of debate, with its purpose and creators still shrouded in mystery. Discovered centuries ago, the Uffington White Horse stands out for its size and unique design. Unlike modern depictions of horses, the figure is stylized and abstract, with exaggerated features such as large eyes and an elongated form. The simplicity of the design, combined with its striking scale, makes it both an artwork and a puzzle. Its precise construction suggests advanced planning, but why this specific figure was chosen remains unknown. Mainstream theories suggest that the Uffington White Horse was created by a group of people from the Bronze Age, likely for ceremonial or religious purposes. The horse, as a symbol of strength, power, and movement, may have been linked to fertility or the forces of nature. Its large and imposing figure might have represented a spiritual or protective force for the people living in the area. Given the prominence of horses in later cultures, it's also possible that the horse symbolized the connection between humans and the natural world. Yet, as we explore the site further, many questions remain. Why choose to carve such a massive figure in a remote location? The hilltop, with its sweeping views, could have been selected for its visibility, but could there have been a deeper reason for its placement? Some believe the site was chosen for its astronomical significance, possibly aligning with the movements of the sun, moon, or stars. Was the white horse designed to mark celestial events such as solstices or to guide the people's agricultural and spiritual practices? There are theories suggesting the Uffington white horse may be part of a larger network of similar geoglyphs scattered across Britain. Other prehistoric figures, like the nearby Cerne Abbas giant, suggest a broader tradition of symbolic landscape markings. Could these figures be part of a shared cultural or religious system, connecting people across vast regions? The idea of interconnected sacred sites opens up possibilities of a cultural web, with these geoglyphs serving as markers of spiritual significance, guiding travelers or ritual participants between distant locations. As the speculation grows, some fringe theories offer more unconventional explanations. Some researchers propose that the Uffington white horse may have been used as a form of map, marking key locations or routes across the land. The sweeping curves of the figure could suggest more than just decoration. They may have been part of a larger geographical or cosmological system, guiding people on spiritual or physical journeys. Could the white horse be a kind of map for spiritual enlightenment? A guide for those seeking deeper knowledge of the world or the afterlife? Others propose that the Uffington white horse might be a remnant of an ancient lost civilization, one with knowledge of astronomy or engineering far beyond what was typical for the time. Could this figure be evidence of a culture with advanced understanding of the cosmos, leaving behind a symbol of their knowledge for future generations to discover? These theories, while speculative, highlight the sense of mystery that still surrounds the white horse, suggesting that it could have a meaning beyond what we currently comprehend. Despite these various theories, the true purpose of the Uffington white horse remains elusive. Was it simply a religious symbol or a ceremonial focal point for the people of the Bronze Age? Or did it serve a more practical function, perhaps marking celestial cycles or guiding travelers? The figure's striking presence, visible from both the hilltop and the surrounding valley, invites contemplation. Its meaning continues to elude us, transcending time and remaining as enigmatic as it was when first created. As we stand before this ancient geoglyph, we are reminded that the prehistoric world is full of untold mysteries. The Uffington white horse calls us to reflect on what its creators knew about the cosmos, the natural world, and their place within it. What hidden knowledge might still lie within the figure's design? And what other secrets, long buried beneath the earth, might await discovery? The Uffington white horse remains a symbol of our quest to understand the past, its mysteries continuing to inspire curiosity and wonder. Deep in the limestone cliffs of southern France, in the remote Vézère Valley, lies one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the Chauvet Cave. Discovered in 1994 by a team led by Jean-Marie Chauvet, this cave has become crucial for understanding early human art and consciousness. With paintings dating back over 30,000 years, the cave offers a stunning glimpse into a time when humans shared the planet with megafauna. The Chauvet Cave is home to some of the earliest and most intricate depictions of animals. The walls, adorned with images of horses, bison, lions, and mammoths, display lifelike qualities, with shading and perspective giving the animals a sense of movement. The paintings are not just artistic expressions, but may hold deeper meanings, possibly linked to spiritual or ritualistic practices of the people who created them. The figures seem to capture not just the physical appearance of the animals, but their essence, perhaps symbolizing a connection to the spirit world or to hunting magic. Mainstream interpretations suggest that the cave paintings were part of a ritualistic practice, possibly sympathetic magic used to ensure successful hunts. The idea is that by depicting the animals on the walls, the artists believed they were forging a connection with the spirit of the animal, perhaps as a way to invoke protection or good fortune. The sophistication of the paintings indicates that these early humans had an advanced understanding of both their environment and the animals they coexisted with. The location of the cave itself raises further questions. Why carve such elaborate artwork in such an inaccessible place? Some believe the cave was a sacred space, perhaps used by spiritual leaders or shamans to communicate with the divine. It may have been a site for rituals where humans could engage with the spirits of the animals they relied on for survival. The isolation of the cave and the complexity of the artwork suggest a deeper spiritual purpose beyond mere decoration. The materials used in the paintings, red ochre, charcoal, and other natural pigments, also reflect a sophisticated understanding of the world. The cave's art has been remarkably well preserved, offering an intimate look into the minds of the artists. Yet, many questions remain. Who were these artists? What did they hope to achieve with their art? Were the paintings personal visions or part of a communal ritual? Did the figures represent real animals, or were they symbolic representations of something much larger, such as the forces of nature or the cycles of life? Beyond the mainstream theories, some researchers have proposed that the paintings may represent an early form of storytelling. The animals might have symbolized more than just physical creatures. They could have represented myths or stories that helped explain the relationship between humans and the world around them. The recurring depiction of predators alongside prey could be seen as a representation of the cycle of life and death, the dangers of survival, and the interconnectedness of all living things. There are also theories suggesting that the paintings may be tied to astronomical observations. The positioning of certain animals in relation to the natural features of the cave has led some to hypothesize that the images represent constellations or celestial movements. If true, this would mean that the artists of Chauvet Cave had a sophisticated understanding of the night sky, possibly using the paintings as a form of early astronomy to track seasons or celestial events. Despite years of study, the true purpose of the Chauvet Cave paintings remains unclear. Were they simply a form of communication, a way to pass down knowledge or stories, or did they serve as spiritual or ritualistic tools? The vividness and detail of the images suggest that these early humans were not only capable of creating art, but that their art was deeply meaningful and tied to their understanding of the world. As we stand in front of these ancient paintings, we are left with more questions than answers. The Chauvet Cave continues to challenge our understanding of early human life. What truths about our distant ancestors lie hidden within these walls? What did these paintings mean to those who created them? The mystery of Chauvet Cave invites us to explore further into the depths of human history, offering glimpses into a time and culture that remain just out of reach. Deep within the limestone cliffs of southern Turkey, near the shores of Lake Van, lies one of the most intriguing submerged sites in the world, the underwater ruins of Lake Van. Discovered in the early 1990s, these ruins are thought to be the remnants of an ancient settlement, buried beneath the lake's waters for thousands of years. The discovery has sparked widespread interest among archaeologists and historians, leaving many questions unanswered about the civilization that once thrived there. Lake Van, located in the eastern highlands of Turkey, is the largest lake in the country, and its waters have preserved ancient structures beneath its surface. The ruins discovered include stone walls, foundations, and traces of streets, indicating that this was once a thriving community. The size and layout of the settlement suggest a highly organized society, but the exact origin and purpose of the ruins remain elusive. What caused the city to be submerged, and who were the people who built it? The most widely accepted theory is that the ruins are the remains of an ancient settlement from the Urartian Kingdom, which flourished between the 7th and 6th centuries BCE, 9th and 6th centuries BC. Some researchers believe that the settlement was once located on the shores of the lake, but that a natural disaster, such as an earthquake, volcanic eruption, or rising water levels, led to the submergence of the city. This theory aligns with the geological history of Lake Van, which has seen significant environmental changes over the centuries. However, the lack of written records or direct evidence leaves room for speculation about the cause of the submergence. Another possibility is that the settlement was deliberately abandoned before it was submerged. If this is the case, the reasons behind the abandonment remain a mystery. Did the people leave due to a sudden disaster, or did they simply move away, leaving their city to be swallowed by the rising waters? The idea that an entire city could disappear without a trace challenges our understanding of ancient civilizations. The layout and architecture of the ruins raise further questions. The stone walls and foundations are well constructed, and the precision with which the buildings were designed suggests a high level of sophistication. Yet, some researchers have noted that the layout of the structures doesn't entirely align with what we know of Urartian city planning. This discrepancy has led to the hypothesis that the submerged city might be the work of an even older civilization, one that predates the Urartians and was lost to history. There are also more speculative theories about the submerged ruins. Some suggest that the site could be linked to ancient myths of sunken cities, such as Atlantis. These theories propose that the city was home to a highly advanced civilization, one with knowledge and technologies far beyond what we traditionally associate with ancient cultures. If this were true, the ruins could represent the remnants of a lost civilization, whose achievements have been forgotten by time. Adding to the mystery is the geological history of Lake Van itself. The lake sits in a volcanic basin, and some researchers speculate that volcanic activity or tectonic shifts could have caused the land around the lake to sink, submerging the city in a manner that seems almost deliberate. The conditions of the lake, including its temperature and mineral content, may have helped preserve the ruins, making them remarkably well preserved despite their age. Despite the intrigue surrounding the submerged ruins, the true purpose of the settlement remains unclear. Was it simply a thriving city that succumbed to a natural disaster, or was it part of a larger cultural network that spanned the ancient world? Could the city have had a ceremonial or religious significance linked to the natural world or the cosmos? The answers remain hidden beneath the waters, and the mystery of the submerged city continues to beckon. As we reflect on the discovery of the underwater ruins of Lake Van, we are reminded of the many ancient civilizations whose stories have been lost to time. The remains of this once thriving community invite us to explore the past and ask questions about the people who lived there. What did they know about their environment, and what knowledge did they possess that has been lost to history? The mystery of the submerged city challenges our understanding of ancient cultures and continues to spark curiosity among those who seek to uncover the secrets buried beneath the waters. What other forgotten stories lie beneath the surface of Lake Van, waiting to be discovered? The submerged ruins remind us that there is still much to learn about the ancient civilizations that once inhabited this region, and perhaps even more waiting to be uncovered in the depths of the world's hidden past. Hidden in the arid landscape of Azerbaijan near the Caspian Sea lies the mysterious Gobustan Petroglyphs, one of the most intriguing archaeological sites in the world. Discovered in the 1930s, these carvings, scattered across rocky outcrops, offer a window into the lives of early humans who lived in this region over 40,000 years ago. With intricate depictions of animals, humans, and abstract symbols, the petroglyphs remain an enigma, sparking questions about their purpose, meaning, and the people who created them. The petroglyphs of Gobustan stand out for their variety and detail. The figures depict scenes of everyday life, hunting, dancing, and animal figures, alongside strange abstract symbols. Some carvings portray wild animals, such as aurochs and wild goats, while others show domesticated animals, suggesting a deep connection between the people and their environment. The carvings also include numerous human figures, some involved in rituals and others engaged in everyday activities, suggesting that the people of Gobustan had a rich social and spiritual life. Archaeologists believe that these petroglyphs were likely tied to religious or spiritual practices. Some interpretations suggest that they were a form of early storytelling or myth-making, representing shared beliefs and stories of the people who created them. The presence of animals, which were essential to survival, could signify their spiritual or symbolic importance. The petroglyphs might have been used in rituals designed to honor animals or to connect with the forces of nature. What makes the Gobustan petroglyphs particularly intriguing is the presence of abstract symbols and geometric patterns. These shapes, some resembling spirals, dots, and squares, do not directly correspond to anything known from the period. Some researchers speculate that these carvings might represent early forms of written language, offering a glimpse into a symbolic system used to communicate complex ideas or track important events. Others suggest that these symbols could be tied to celestial knowledge, possibly representing the sun, moon, and stars. The repeated celestial motifs have led some to theorize that the people of Gobustan had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, potentially using these symbols to track seasonal changes or celestial events like solstices. Mainstream interpretations suggest that the petroglyphs served primarily a religious or ritualistic purpose. The frequent depiction of animals and humans in ceremonial contexts, along with the celestial symbols, points to a deep connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. Some have even proposed that the carvings were part of an early system of agriculture and timekeeping, helping these early people understand the cycles of nature and determine the best times for planting and harvesting crops. As we delve deeper into the mystery of Gobustan, the question arises: were these petroglyphs simply ritualistic expressions, or did they serve a more practical purpose? Some researchers have suggested that the carvings might have been used as a form of early map-making. The images of animals, humans, and celestial bodies could have represented significant locations, water sources, or migration routes. The petroglyphs may have served as a way to guide travelers or mark important sites in the landscape. There are even more speculative theories about the Gobustan petroglyphs. Some fringe researchers have suggested that these carvings might be evidence of contact with a more advanced civilization or extraterrestrial beings. While such ideas are not widely accepted by mainstream archaeology, they reflect the sense of wonder and mystery surrounding the petroglyphs. Could the ancient people of Gobustan have had access to knowledge far beyond their time, either through lost technologies or cultural exchanges with other civilizations? Despite the many theories, the true purpose of the Gobustan petroglyphs remains elusive. While we can infer that they were linked to spiritual practices, storytelling, or even astronomy, the exact meaning behind the symbols and figures is still a mystery. The petroglyphs continue to captivate us, their intricate designs offering a glimpse into the world of early humans, a world where art, spirituality, and daily life were deeply intertwined. As we stand before these ancient carvings etched into the rock centuries ago, we are left to wonder, what other secrets do the petroglyphs of Gobustan hold? Were they part of a broader network of symbols and knowledge that connected distant cultures, or were they unique to the people of Gobustan? What stories, beliefs, and cosmic knowledge might be embedded in these images, waiting to be fully understood? The mystery of the Gobustan petroglyphs remains, urging us to ask more questions, delve deeper into the past, and uncover the hidden truths of an ancient world. Nestled in the heart of southern Moravia, Czech Republic, along the banks of the DJ River, lies the site of Dolní Věstonice, home to one of the most fascinating discoveries from prehistoric Europe. This ancient settlement, dating back to the Upper Paleolithic period, has yielded numerous important artifacts, with one standing out in particular: the carved ivory head of Dolny Viestonets. Discovered in 1925, this small yet striking figurine offers a glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and artistic practices of early humans over 25,000 years ago. The carved ivory head, measuring only a few centimeters tall, is intricately detailed, capturing the essence of a human face. With carefully rendered features like prominent eyes, a defined nose, and a subtle mouth, it suggests a high level of craftsmanship and attention to detail. Its elongated shape and smooth surface point to deliberate carving, indicating that it was likely of symbolic or ritualistic significance rather than a mere portrait. The head is crafted from mammoth ivory, a material associated with strength and power, which adds to its potential spiritual or ceremonial importance. The people who created the carved ivory head are thought to belong to the Gravettian culture, a group of nomadic hunter-gatherers who thrived in Europe during the Late Ice Age. Known for their sophisticated tools and artwork, the Gravettians created not only practical implements, but also art that may have held deep cultural or religious meanings. The head of Dolny Viestonets stands as one of the finest examples of their artistry. However, the purpose of this figurine remains elusive and continues to spark debate among researchers. One prevailing theory is that the carved ivory head may represent a spiritual or symbolic figure, such as a goddess or revered ancestor. Its fine craftsmanship and the use of mammoth ivory suggest it could have been a ritual object, possibly linked to fertility or ancestral worship. The exaggerated features, particularly the eyes and mouth, might indicate a belief in the power of representation, where the likeness itself was thought to imbue the figurine with special significance or power. Yet, the mystery deepens when we consider the possibility that the head might not have been intended as a religious figure at all. Some researchers suggest that it could represent an important individual, perhaps a leader or shaman, who was immortalized through the carving. The use of mammoth ivory, a rare and valuable material, implies that the person depicted was someone of great importance, deserving of such a revered representation. This raises questions about the Gravettians' views on memory and identity. Did they see these likenesses as a way to preserve and honor important individuals? Another theory proposes that the carved ivory head could have served a more practical function, perhaps as a charm or talisman. In prehistoric cultures, small symbolic objects were often used for protection or to invoke good fortune. Could this head have been a personal item, worn or carried as part of a ritual, passed from person to person during ceremonies, or used in social or spiritual practices? This suggests that the figurine might have had a dual role, as both an artistic expression and a functional tool within the cultural or spiritual life of its creators. More speculative theories about the carved ivory head suggest it could have been part of a broader tradition of shamanic practices. In this view, early humans may have believed that carving human faces could channel spiritual energy or serve as a bridge to the spirit world. The exaggerated features might represent a transformation or the embodiment of a spiritual journey, allowing the bearer of the head to communicate with ancestors or the divine. The use of mammoth ivory also speaks to the relationship between the people of Dolny Viestonets and the animals they relied upon. Mammoths were crucial for food, shelter, and tools, but they also held symbolic importance. The use of ivory for the carved ivory head could suggest that the mammoth was seen as a spiritual being, one to be revered and respected. The figure may have been a representation of the connection between humans and the natural world, with the ivory serving as a conduit for the animal's strength and spirit. The carved ivory head fits into the broader context of Upper Paleolithic art, which often combined functionality with symbolism. The Gravettian people created a variety of artistic works, figurines, cave paintings, and carvings that depicted animals, humans, and abstract symbols. These works reflect a culture deeply attuned to the spiritual world, where art was a means of expressing complex ideas about life, death, and the forces of nature. As we study the carved ivory head, we are left to wonder about the culture that created it. What did this ancient civilization believe about the human form, the world around them, and the unseen forces that guided their lives? What secrets of early human consciousness might be hidden in this small yet profound object? The mystery of the carved ivory head continues to beckon us, urging further exploration into the lives, beliefs, and art of the people who lived so long ago. In the dense, humid expanse of the Amazon rainforest in western Brazil, hidden beneath a thick canopy of trees, lies one of the most enigmatic archaeological sites, the Amazon geoglyphs. These vast, intricate earthworks, which were only discovered in the 1990s, continue to baffle archaeologists and historians. Stretching over the state of Acre, the petroglyphs are a series of geometric and organic shapes, some of which are as large as 200 meters in length. The geoglyphs provide a rare glimpse into the world of ancient civilizations, yet their origin and purpose remain unclear. The petroglyphs are formed by clearing and digging into the soil to create complex patterns, rectangles, spirals, and circles. These markings, some believed to be over 2,000 years old, are etched into the fertile rainforest landscape. Unlike the famous Nazca Lines in Peru, these carvings were not created on barren desert soil, but within the lush, challenging environment of the Amazon, making their creation even more perplexing. The markings, often only fully visible from the air, suggest a highly developed understanding of geometry, planning, and perhaps even astronomy. The mainstream explanation is that these geoglyphs were made by prehistoric Amazonian societies, possibly from the pre-Amazonian cultures, well before the rise of European colonization. Researchers believe that the geoglyphs were not just decorative, but held spiritual or ceremonial significance. The intricate designs may have served as sacred sites for rituals, where the carvings represented spiritual connections to the natural world or celestial bodies. Some patterns are thought to align with cardinal directions or celestial events, hinting at the possibility that they were used for tracking seasonal changes or celestial phenomena, similar to the astronomical sites of ancient Europe. While the idea that these geoglyphs were ceremonial or religious is widely accepted, other speculative theories have emerged. Some believe the shapes could symbolize social, territorial, or political markers. Their large size and complexity might indicate that they were used to delineate boundaries between different tribes or communities. The question arises, could these earthworks have represented a form of early governance, acting as visual boundaries or indicators of power in an ancient social structure? Such a theory would suggest that the geoglyphs were not just cultural symbols, but integral to the organization of society. Another theory proposes that the geoglyphs could be remnants of an ancient, advanced civilization, one with far greater knowledge than is typically attributed to prehistoric Amazonian cultures. The precise engineering required to create such large, intricate patterns suggests that their creators might have possessed technologies or methods that we do not fully understand. Were these earthworks part of a much larger civilization, whose technological or cultural achievements were lost to time? Could these geoglyphs be a testament to a once thriving civilization that mastered both environmental manipulation and complex societal organization, possibly even leaving behind a legacy that history has yet to fully uncover? Perhaps the biggest mystery surrounding the Amazon geoglyphs is the identity of their creators. Who were the people behind these markings, and what happened to them? Were they the ancestors of the modern indigenous tribes of the region, or did they belong to a different culture, now lost to time? The decline of many pre-Columbian civilizations in the Amazon is often attributed to environmental changes, warfare, or the impact of diseases brought by outsiders. Did the geoglyph makers face similar forces, causing them to disappear, leaving behind only these enigmatic markings? Some researchers speculate that the dense forest growth, which covered the geoglyphs over time, may have been a major factor in obscuring their existence for centuries. Despite much research, the full meaning and purpose of the Amazon geoglyphs remain shrouded in uncertainty. Were they part of a sophisticated system of knowledge about the cosmos, society, or the environment, or did they serve as personal or communal records of daily life? The answers may lie beneath the dense canopy, hidden within the soil and vegetation, waiting to be discovered by future generations of explorers. The Amazon geoglyphs continue to stir the imagination of archaeologists and historians alike, offering a tantalizing glimpse into a past that remains largely mysterious. Could these geoglyphs hold the key to understanding the advanced societies that once flourished in the heart of the Amazon? Or do they represent something even older, an ancient symbol system that will remain just beyond our reach? The mysteries of the Amazon geoglyphs persist, their secrets buried in the dense rainforest, awaiting the next generation of researchers to uncover what remains hidden. Beneath the surreal landscape of Cappadocia in central Turkey, a hidden world stretches deep underground, a network of tunnels and subterranean cities carved into soft volcanic rock. Known for its fairy tale-like chimneys and towering rock formations, Cappadocia's surface is an awe-inspiring sight, but it's what lies beneath that stirs both fascination and mystery. The buried tunnels of Cappadocia, discovered in the 1960s, remain one of the most captivating archaeological sites in the region. The tunnels stretch for miles and are thought to have housed up to 20,000 people. Carved from the region's soft, tough rock, formed from volcanic ash and lava, the underground cities are a testament to ancient engineering. These subterranean structures are intricately designed, with rooms serving various purposes, such as living spaces, storage areas, religious shrines, and places for livestock. Some of the tunnels feature ventilation shafts, water wells, and large stone doors that could be rolled into place to block off entire sections, suggesting that these underground cities were built to withstand external threats. The mainstream explanation for the tunnel's construction suggests they were created as safe havens during periods of war or political upheaval. Cappadocia's location, at the crossroads of empires and trade routes, made it a frequent target for invasions, particularly during the Hittite, Phrygian, and Byzantine periods. The tunnels provided a safe retreat from invading armies or harsh environmental conditions, with the soft volcanic rock making it relatively easy to carve these expansive underground structures. The network of tunnels offered ideal refuge for the inhabitants. Yet, despite this practical explanation, more questions arise. Why were these underground cities so complex, with multiple levels and intricate designs? The planning and organization required to create such vast underground spaces suggest there was more to their purpose than simply providing protection. Could the tunnels have also had a spiritual or ritualistic function, serving as places for communal ceremonies, worship, or connecting with the divine? Their elaborate design, combined with the absence of evidence for regular habitation, suggests that they might not have been intended for long-term use, but instead served as temporary refuges during times of crisis. Some theories propose that the tunnels could have had spiritual significance, serving as sacred spaces for ancient people to conduct religious practices. The network of tunnels might have connected these ancient societies with the earth and the cosmos, marking a deep spiritual connection. These tunnels might have been used as sanctuaries for spiritual renewal or even to mark important astronomical events. There are also more speculative ideas surrounding the origins of the tunnels. Some suggest that they could have been created by a lost civilization with advanced knowledge far beyond what was typical for the period. These theories propose that the tunnels could have been part of a broader network of underground cities, possibly linked to other megalithic structures across the world, with technologies that have been lost to history. Were the tunnels part of a global system of subterranean dwellings built by an advanced civilization that disappeared over time? Other theories consider the tunnel's potential use in agriculture. The controlled environment underground might have allowed early humans to grow crops and raise livestock in conditions more stable than those above ground. The discovery of storage areas for food and grains in some of the rooms suggests that the tunnels could have been used not only for shelter, but to ensure food security during periods of scarcity. Despite these theories, the true purpose of the buried tunnels of Cappadocia remains shrouded in mystery. The sheer scale and complexity of the tunnels imply a culture that had advanced skills and knowledge in architecture, engineering, and possibly spirituality. The tunnels may have served multiple purposes: protection, spiritual connection, agricultural development, but the full extent of their meaning is still unclear. The mystery of Cappadocia's underground cities remains unsolved, offering us a glimpse into a civilization that, while highly advanced in some respects, has left little trace beyond the tunnels. As we explore this hidden world, we are left to wonder, what knowledge or secrets have been locked away in the labyrinth of these tunnels? What can they tell us about the people who built them, and why were such extraordinary structures created? The buried tunnels of Cappadocia stand as a testament to human creativity and resilience, waiting to reveal their mysteries to those who dare to explore them further.